What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday night, and it's time for Super Geeked Up. Yeah! Hey, everybody, my name is Jeff. Thank you very much for geeking out with us. This is Super Geeked Up, your live geeky pop culture show. We talk fun, geeky topics, play super fun, geek-themed improv games. We're so glad you joined us. If you're, well, I don't think it's going to work again, actually, from what it's telling me, but we're trying. Okay, we got third time is the charm from Jalou in the chat. We're going to see. We're testing, folks. Thank you very much for bearing with us. We're going to try one last time, and if not, we're going to give it a shot tomorrow night. Anyway, this is Super Geeked Up. We're going to talk a lot of fun stuff on the show, hopefully, as long as everything technically might work this time. We're going to talk best things of the 90s, Cyberpunk, play some geeky games, Universal Translator, Ultimate Geek Championship. I am joined by Francis Fernandez from Sincere Sarcasm.
Heads are moving, heads are moving, heads are moving. Yeah.
I'm glad as that's what Michael Gilstrap just put in the chat. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Good
That's what I'm. Yeah.
And from Genretainment, it is Marx Pyle.
Aloha, everyone.
A different greeting every time we've tried this today.
Ciao, Marx. Ciao.
And our special guest, the writer-director of the movie Hacked, the creator of the upcoming comic The Boatman, it is James Cox.
Hey, thanks for having me back, guys.
Of course. All right, folks. Yeah, we're gonna have to use your help here in the chat. Let us know how the stream's working because we've had some issues here. We're hoping it's gonna work this time. But I see Johnny Pappas, Jalou, Victor, Lishmater all still in the chat. Thank you guys for sticking around. All right, and again, hope everyone is. Oh man, well it's not working for somebody at least. Lishmater, but maybe we'll see if it's working for most of the people. Tammy says, where are those 90s super hackers at? Oh, yeah, I know. We could use maybe some help there, right? Is that you, James? Can you help us out?
Hold on.
He says audio.
Yeah, I see that. Which I don't know if that means he's not getting the audio.
I don't know.
He just likes audio. He likes talking about
audio.
I got pantomime. The powers of pantomime here.
Oh, yeah. It's telling me it's really messed up again. All right, so folks, I think unfortunately, I hate to do this, man, but I think we're gonna have to try this tomorrow night. Come back and try this again. We're gonna do some more little troubleshooting here, rather on the fly. So sorry, guys. I thank you so much for your patience here in the chat and sticking with us so long. You guys are really awesome. If you're even hearing me,
it's just the audio.
Yeah,
great. It's just. That's just working, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Nicole. All right. So we're going to try this tomorrow at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. And,
they're like, I can hear you guys.
Okay, well, wait. You know what? They said they wouldn't mind. All right. Tell us this, folks, before I turn this off. If you're fine with just the audio, we'll still do it.
Yeah.
We'll do the show. It's probably not going to be very necessarily good for people watching in post. Well, who cares? It's the same thing either way, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know what? Whatever. Let's just have some fun. It's fine, right? Let's geek out.
Yeah.
We can always do a bonus show.
Put on deeper voice then. I'm going to have to put the radio voice on. If it's just...
yes.
All right, so tell us, I know we're on a little bit of a delay normally, but tell us, folks, I just want to get a sense. If most people want to hear the audio, but if most people don't want that, then we'll delay it, obviously. I don't want to do something that you guys might not enjoy. What are you saying, Francis? You look like you have an opinion.
Say, you asked for the 90s. This is what happens to video in the 90s. Right? It's choppy. It's like 3 frames per second. Like, that's totally 90s.
Yeah, you're right. And Tammy had mentioned videos max headroom, but that's a great reference there. Yeah. Absolutely.
Audio is fine. Audio. People are okay with the audio.
All right. Let's do it. This is the audio-only version of Super Geeked Up.
Just to flip off the camera the entire time because nobody will know.
I'm actually wondering if the video. I wonder if we do kind of look like Max Headroom. That would be pretty awesome, actually. I wouldn't mind that.
Johnny figured me out though. I'm doing a jig right now. How dare he know what I'm doing at this moment?
Oh, and Julia's like Fref. Yes, that's Francis's mind's ship name. Fref. Thank you. Mm-hmm. All right, folks, here we go. We're going to do it. All right, so I introduced everybody. So we're going to still have some fun. We're going to do the same games. They'll work by audio only. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for hanging out with us. Let's get into it. Let's get into our first geeky question sorry, listen, it says it's like a 28.8K band modem.
Okay, Fancy Pants. I had like a 14.4.
What was that? It was like...
I missed those sounds.
Wing, wing, wing. Yeah. Here we go.
I missed somebody would pick up the phone line and totally kick me off the internet.
Oh, you're right. You couldn't be on the phone.
No, you couldn't be on the phone at the same time. The good old days.
There you go. That's very 90s right there, right? Dial-up internet.
Thanks, AOL.
Everybody's joking about dial-up.
Your coaster discs.
So anyway, but yeah, we're not gonna get to the 90s a little later in the show. But let's. What's our first question there, Francis?
Yeah, look, Cyberpunk existed in the 90s, as a matter of fact, and the game Cyberpunk 2077 is a game that is coming out, and we're all excited for it.
So excited!
It's the next big game from CD Projekt Red. Thank you. So we're excited for that. But look, there's Cyberpunk movies, TV shows, games, and books out there. We want to know what your favorite one was, what got you going, what made you happy. Let's hear your Cyberpunk faves.
Hey, do you want to, because on our earlier stream that we don't keep it anymore, Jilu had asked about a definition for that. What did you tell him?
Well, okay, so Cyberpunk is pretty much like the future is now. Or oftentimes robotics with noir. It's a very much, especially with movies like Blade Runner and things like that, you see a lot of that kind of noir feel for the film, but also getting a lot of that cyborgs and cybernetics and you get your bodies, parts of your arm is mechanical and things like that. You get Battle Angel Alita is the same way. So those are examples of what is considered cyberpunk. Even people think The Matrix is considered cyberpunk.
Yeah, I was trying to actually think beforehand, like it would be considered one. I think it would be.
Yeah.
That was very good. So I'll give you people, just in case you want to know, the definition from Online Dictionary. A genre of science fiction set in a lawless subculture of an oppressive society dominated by computer technology.
Yeah,
good,
like Terminator.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, Barack Kaufman says Duke Nukem 3D.
Oh my God.
Very nice.
Oh, I remember that. That's good.
Yeah, good old Duke Nukem.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jilu was talking about one of the Meg Ryan Tom Hanks movies, and I'm like, that's Cyberpunk. And they were referencing the AOL You've Got Mail movie.
Oh, yeah.
That Tom Hanks Meg Ryan Cyberpunk movie. I love it.
Yeah.
What was that one movie the Wachowskis did, where Tom Hanks played like an Asian character?
Yeah. Cloud Atlas?
Cloud Atlas. Yeah.
Is Cloud Atlas Cyberpunk?
Partially.
Yeah, one of the time periods.
The future segment of which you spoke previously. You alluded to the Tom Hanks yellow face sequence. That was Cyberpunk.
He tried.
He tried. In the chat, Jalu says Alita, Battle Angel, Johnny Mnemonic, Blade Runner, RoboCop are some of his choices. Scorpio, Hackers can't go wrong with anything with Matthew Lillard. Tammy Anderson, I like The Fifth Element, all the bright colors. These are excellent.
I think Fifth Element's great. Oh yeah.
By the way, Victor says I used to run the RPG Cyberpunk 2020, which is what the Cyberpunk 2077 is based off of. Upcoming game.
Oh, it's very nice. Yeah.
I never got to play that game actually. I wish I did. So, all right. Well, here let's go to our guest though, James. What is essentially obviously someone inspired by your movie Hacked? What are your choices?
Well, I mean, I love this genre deeply. So I mean, obviously we've already mentioned Blade Runner. Coming from books. I mean, Neuromancer, Snow Crash are just great books to just go out there and Google. But I would have to say the fiction that I love, that is Cyberpunk, really comes from a guy named Philip K. Dick. His novel, particularly A Scanner Darkly, I think really is quintessential cyberpunk. because it's really, and I think we talk about kind of the aesthetics, but I think really the heart of a good cyberpunk story is that it's about alienation. It's about alienation through technology. And if you look at all these stories, it's all about like, what makes us human, what if as you take pieces of us away from us, are we still human? It's like if you put our brain into a vat, or a server, are we still human? It's just, I think that's really kind of quintessential. And in Scanner Darkly, it's all about a character who wears a scramble suit because he's a narc, embedded amongst drug dealers and drug addicts, and he kind of loses himself in that world through that technology. And it's very Philip K. Dick, where drugs and it's like that sort of thing is all his sort of thing. But and we remember it wholesale, which became Total Recall when it was a film. Also is very much about that. But it's all about the inception of memories and stuff. Like, wait, is Inception cyberpunk? Yeah. So TV shows like Altered Carbon, I think, are great, and they really go into that. Yes, exactly. Got the Falcon in there in the lead role. It's exciting. Yeah. So, and I don't know if you guys remember a tabletop game turned video game called Shadowrun.
Yeah, that's on my list. That's on my list. That's my list too.
You're copacetic. That was, for me, just very much a great way to engage with the genre, because it's all, it's a noir story set in that world, and it's just, I don't know. It's always fascinating. You're like talking to people, and everybody's trying to kill you, and and it's just
like real life.
Just like real life, man. But anyway, I don't know. I could talk forever about this genre.
I remember,
so just cut me off.
Playing Shadowrun either on like Nintendo or Super Nintendo, and then more recently I played some of the more recent PC reboots of them, which are well done, very well done.
It was good. Yeah.
I think you have played them as well, Marx, right?
Probably,
we all of us have played it on here actually. So just let me get some from the chat here. Great chatting going on from these folks. Baruch had mentioned Stargate. Scorpio makes a interesting point about, speaking of cyberpunk, that's basically what Star Trek Picard is. I can see that with all the Borg stuff and all the Android stuff in there.
It's true.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's a good point. Tammy, do androids dream of electric sheep? So, of course, the Blade Runner, the story that became Blade Runner. Johnny mentions William Gibson. Of course, yes, like it was one of obviously the very first, right? And then Jalou mentions Ghost in the Shell. That's actually one of the first animes I ever saw, and kind of really got me into it. That's a great one too. Johnny says The 13th Floor. I don't think I've seen that.
Very sim. It was in the whole, like, the Matrix comes out, and then there's like a million different Matrix types of movies. It was one of the better ones. And I would put that up there actually with Existenz, if you remember the David Cronenberg movie. They were kind of like of that lot of films where it's all about the virtual, the cyber, the ether. By the way, just point of correction. Baruch is actually my producing partner on Hacked. So,
hello, Baruch. Thank you for watching and listening, or whatever you're doing, because you probably can't see us.
Yeah.
Baruch also says Minority Report, which is a great choice.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you for letting me know who that is. Let's see here. Jalou asks, is Judge Dredd cyberpunk? I've seen people say it is. Absolutely.
So.
Oh, yeah.
And okay, so hey, folks, let me know what's your favorite Judge Dredd movie. Well, I guess is there only two, really? I'm trying to think if there's a third one.
There's only two. There's only.
Yeah. So either the Stallone one or the more recent Carl Urban.
Carl Urban.
Yeah. I actually enjoy them both for different reasons.
Yeah.
I like the Stallone one, man. It's a fun movie. Diane Lane. That's one of like the first movies I saw Diane Lane in.
Oh yeah.
Nicole says Tron and Tron Legacy. Those are very good choices.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And Baruch also says Strange Days. Oh well, I see that makes sense that Baruch will have all these answers since you guys made Hacked. That was all about cyberpunk. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
All right, let's see. Let's go over to so we mentioned Shadowrun and The Matrix and Terminator. Those are all on my list. Something we haven't mentioned yet is a video game called Deus Ex.
Deus Ex, yeah.
I've actually only played the Human Revolution one, but I really enjoyed that game. I think there's a lot of really cool cyberpunk stuff in those games.
Mm-hmm. Is that the sequel to the first one?
No, that's oh boy, maybe at least the third one or more. Mankind Divided is the most recent one, but it is still one of the more recent ones.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not sure how many. I mean, Deus Ex was the name of the very first one, but I'm not sure how many were in between when I started getting into it. But in the chat, if you know, please let me know. I love hearing about that.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think there's been at least half dozen of them, to be honest.
Yeah. You're probably right. I think there's more than I'm remembering because that's a long running series actually. That game.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Oh, Francis, of course. I'm sorry. Let's get to any choices you have that we haven't talked about.
There was a show that was shortly lived, speaking of Carl Urban, called Almost Human that I really loved.
Yeah.
Michael Ealy too. Yeah.
Yes.
And
so glad you brought that up.
It only lasted a season. It lasted like 13 episodes. I was really sad that it didn't last much longer because I really, really enjoyed that show.
And you know what? You know what happened? Like that was a show that I felt was very rough, but by the time they got to like the last couple episodes, I thought it was like clicking, right? Like I was like, oh, they finally found their groove. This is great. Oh, it's canceled.
Yeah.
It's always the worst. But like the show finally, I think it's finally firing. Like and those shows, those kind of shows, always need time to find where they're going, right?
Right.
So it's like, oh, it's so frustrating, man. Like, no, they got it now. They know what they're doing.
They pulled the Firefly out. I was really sad. I was like, come on, give it some more.
So when you said Almost Human, that also reminds me of a show probably from the early 90s. You ever know Man and Machine? Anybody remember that show?
I don't know.
No. I only mention this because Yancey Butler was in it, and Yancey Butler was in the Witchblade series.
She an android?
She was the android in it. Yeah.
Oh wow.
It was it was kind of like Almost Human. It was like a male human cop, and she was a female android. So it was, a little. I mentioned this because Yancey Butler. I'm actually talking to her about coming on Super Geeked Up.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So
nice.
It
looks like that's going to happen soon. So that's what brought that to mind, that series. And I know because I also know Marx is a big fan of the Witchblade series, and I'm a big fan of that comic and show. So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here in the chat. We have Big Hero 6 from Tammy, another one with bright colors. Yep. Johnny says Carl Urban was great. I think he's talking about Dredd, but he's great pretty much everything.
Yep.
Yeah,
Jalou mentions one of my all-time favorite movies, and I never even thought about this. Would Demolition Man be cyberpunk?
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
That's interesting. I never thought of it as one, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's almost there, I would say. It's kind of more just a futuristic.
Like so many sci-fi films are almost right there.
It's like, I think if it had a few more cyborgs, I guess, it would give it a
3 shells were cybernetic shells.
Because then any sci-fi movie then could technically be a cyberpunk movie.
Thing.
Yeah.
But you know what? So I love that you mentioned it because I love that movie.
So would Westworld be considered perhaps cyberpunk?
Absolutely. Especially season 3.
Yeah, I haven't seen season 3 yet. But
Cyber West. I can't be a cyber West.
Listeners mentions The Lawnmower Man.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny mentions Ready Player One.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tammy says Almost Human was so good. All right, so with us there on that one, Francis.
Yeah.
Oh, Victor says Almost Human was not shown in the right order.
Right. Yeah, they mixed it up like they did with Firefly. They put the episode out of order.
Jalou says Alien Nation, Battlestar Galactica, Nicole Ergo Proxy for anime.
Oh yeah.
Johnny says we're getting some choppy audio. All right. Just let us know. Let us know how it's going. Scorpio says it's sad. Modern demands of short-term attention never give a show a chance to find itself anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that would have been an amazing show if it had continued. Oh, I would have loved it.
So I'm just checking the settings here. Yeah. All right. It's getting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna hold on here. We're just gonna see if it fixes itself a little bit, at least for audio reasons.
Mm-hmm.
No, let me ask you guys this, since you guys brought up the out of order thing. As I've been rewatching some shows like on online platforms, like some old shows that like I just loved, and I'm just rewatching them again, right? like Kim Possible, for example, or Saved by the Bell or whatever. I'm going online. Well, I'm realizing that these are not in the order that they made these because the plot doesn't make sense. And then I go online and I find out that, yes, they're not. The way they aired them was not at all the way they were produced.
No.
And it seems like tons of shows do this, or at least used to do it. And I don't understand. That makes zero sense to me. Like, why would you do that? Like, I don't know. Does anybody have an explanation? Like, why would you present the show out of order and out of the way the people or creators are trying to film it?
Well, I know with Firefly, it was execs thinking that the 2-hour premiere would be too slow for audiences. They wanted to start off with an action-packed episode of a train heist, and that was their logic, even though you'd have no idea what's going on in that world when you start with episode 3 or 2 or whatever.
I mean, I think part of it, from like just a historical point of view, is that television wasn't always so linear story-wise from episode to episode, and I think the old wheels of the networks, probably caught up with that maybe a decade or so later. I mean, just knowing how TV is produced, it's like episodes are often produced out of order to begin with, just because it's like, okay, if you return to the same location, you're not going to come back 3 weeks later and then shoot in that location. No, you're going to shoot all those scenes at once and then slot them into post-production wherever they're needed. So, I mean, in TV, the way things used to be, it was just like, well, who cares? Nobody's watching these episodes in order anyway, because people are seeing reruns, or, it's sometimes you don't even tune in. That was the weirdest thing. I mean, here's the thing. A show like Twin Peaks, I don't even know how that show came out the way it did when it did, because that show is so reliant on the overarching story and the linearness of it that it's kind of a miracle. So anyway, has nothing to do with Cyberpunk, but in terms of the overarching discussion about the ordering of TV, it's like it's really just I mean, you have to think in terms of like, okay, if you're not actually attached to the product that's coming off of the line, you're not really going to care very much about whether one episode follows the other. You're just basically filling dead air with whatever is ready to go. And sorry, I guess that's sort of the meatpacking analogy for television, but that's kind of that's how the sausage is made. But
very cyberpunk philosophy about corporations, right? That's
yeah.
Alienation from your product. Yeah. Well, actually, that's more of a isn't that more of a communist socialist kind of? It's like the proletariat is separated from their end product, and therefore, sorry, no politics.
All right. Well, anyway, let me get back to sharing some of the chat things here on the Cyberpunk, because we got some good answers as we were chatting about that. Jalou says virtuosity, very nice.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Johnny says Free Jack. I know that movie, man. Like Mick Jagger, I believe.
Oh yeah,
in that movie.
Yes. Emilio Estevez.
Yes, that's who I was trying to think of. Who was the lead in that? Jalou says Firefly and Serenity, great IP. Baruch, is that how you say it? Baruch mentions Time Cop. That's my favorite Van Damme movie, actually.
You can't touch yourself.
You can't touch yourself.
Otherwise it'll explode.
Yeah. Big problem.
Very dangerous.
So that's a tenet of time travel.
Figurative and literal. Yeah, figurative and literal. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it reminds me, VR5. That was a virtual reality show.
VR5?
That sounds familiar.
It does.
I need to look.
Marx, if you're not frozen, tell us what that is.
Okay. Well, he's frozen.
That was quite a tease there, Marx.
Suspense.
I know.
You're right, Francis. It sounds like I know what that is, but I can't remember.
Oh my god!
It definitely seems like I would watch something called that. Did you find it?
So it aired from March 10th to May 12th, 1995.
Perfect.
It was.
Okay, Marx is back. Tell us about VR5. We were trying to find out when you left what it was.
It was a virtual reality TV show on Fox. They got canceled pretty quick.
Yeah,
but it was interesting. It was a neat show, conspiracy type show.
I love that they had VR in '95. Like they were thinking VR already.
Right?
I guess
we have the Matrix yet. What's going on?
Exactly. I mean, we had the holodeck though, I guess, by that time, because that was '87. So I guess holodecks and stuff were already a thing. But yeah, hopefully the fact that
well, the Neuromancer book by William Gibson is the one that originally coined the term Matrix. So that was back in 1984.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think it's just a word before then, though.
Yeah, it wasn't math. It was.
Right. Exactly. Right.
Sorry, Julie says meatpacking. Is this a sausage party? Well, unfortunately, okay. Yes.
Yeah. Well.
Michael says Max Headroom. Okay, yes, we got another Max Headroom reference. Very good for the
sound is better.
Okay, good. All right, good. Sound is better. That's great. Okay. Don't worry. Whatever you missed wasn't that important. It's fine. So you're just in time for the good stuff again. All right. Anyways, I think that'll wrap us our cyberpunk discussion. That's awesome, though. Whoops! I keep doing that. I'm sorry, Scorpio. I hit the delete rather than approve your message. It'll flag you if you say like fuck. But I would happily approve it. So put it in again, Scorpio, and I'll approve it. I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button. YouTube and their censoring. All right.
All right. Sorry, I keep crashing, guys. I don't know what's going on. So sorry.
Mark, that's the least. Don't worry, man. This whole thing is fucked up.
Hey, look. It's all
Life
cyberpunk.
has crashes in it. It's okay.
Cyberpunk.
It's authenticity.
Yeah, right. We're just trying to make it really like it's the 90s, folks.
Yes.
Yes. Exactly.
I don't know why our 80s show is better than our 90s in terms of quality, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. All right. Let's see here. Let's go on to Universal Translator. And Acrodius just joined us. Says the stream didn't show up for him, but I am here. Well, that's probably, sir, because we had a lot of technical issues. So thank you. We're glad you made it. That's great. And Johnny just mentions paycheck as one more thing on our topic before we move on.
Another Philip K. Dick adaptation.
Oh, this is ridiculous. YouTube flagged. He tried to say Philip K. Dick, and it flagged it because of his dick in there. It would not let him do that.
Oh, wow.
Well,
come on.
Good on you, Google. Good on you.
Great.
Jeez.
Aging Dr. Freud.
Yeah, we can't talk about Philip K. Dick.
Yeah.
Well, Marks, that game we played the other day. Good thing we were streaming that, I guess, right? Because the characters were called Mr. Bigger Dick.
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
When I played a Ninja Cop, yeah,
it
was great.
All right. Oh, Jalou says reboot the Canadian computer animated cartoon. I know a lot of people would love it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's Canadian. That's great.
You're really excited about that. Okay, good.
Go Maple Leaves.
And then Tammy says Gem and the Holograms had VR. Yeah, Gem and the Holograms, man. The 80s cartoons, great.
They were totally outrageous.
Totally. All right, let's play Universal Translator. We're going to need your help with this, folks. Two of us are going to speak in a fictional language, a geeky fictional language, such as Klingon or Ewok or Dothraki or Elvish or whatever we want to do. And then the other two are going to translate into English what we're supposedly saying. You know what, folks? How about this? Give us... we usually pick them, but who cares? The show's off the rails already. So just give us... I mean, in terms of technical reasons, not content-wise, it's great. It's fine. We're all good.
Content-wise is always off the rails anyway, so it's all good.
Right. That's a hallmark of our show, I feel. So it's very good, right? The technical issues are not a hallmark of our show, folks. At least more recently. Back in the day, it was. Anyway, give us some accents. And not like, I know sometimes we do like French and Italian and goofy stuff and like bad accents of that. Give us stuff like, like Ewok or Jabba the Hutt or Muppets or whatever, stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Those kind of things we can do, or certain characters that we could do, as an act, like something that's not English. Basically, we need something that's a nonsense noise, or something, and so the other two can translate into English. What that
like jazz scatting, like something
you want
like
to do
that.
That for us? Yeah, that was good, man. Wow, you guys are good. That's impressive.
Wow, that's good.
So listeners may says Pokemon would be considered to be Cyberpunk. The Pokédeck would be considered to be the VR for the Pokemon world.
No, we're pushing it now.
Hey, that's all right, man. I don't play it, so I'm totally with him. It sounds great. And then Scorpio says these are some very well fucking spoken guests tonight. Show's almost getting a little too highbrow for me. LOL.
Oh, there you go.
James. Normally we're very lowbrow, but James is bringing us up. By the way,
bring
Scorpio,
it down.
I like how Scorpio is trying to get every one of his comments flagged because he uses fuck or dick in every comment. Keep it up. See how many times
that's why you're
doing the Lord's work right there, that guy, Scorpio.
Tammy says, I'm not sure what she was referencing or maybe the gem and the holograms. Oh, because she says, the 80s rocked. I agree. 80s is my favorite decade. 80s did rock. All right, you know what? We're just going to pick some accents because people are still talking about Cyberpunk. All right, who wants to speak in something, language or character, do something? Francis, you want to do one?
You know what I want? I do the language, the weird.
So, James looks like James is about to volunteer, I think.
I'm at your disposal, guys. I will work as translator
so Francis and James will be the language people, and Marx and I will do the translations. Okay. Well, Jaluch said Ewok. Can either of you do Ewok?
I don't remember.
My jaw was a little bit more, conversational.
Okay. Do you want to be a Jawa?
Whoopini!
Yeah. So there you go.
All right, good. You're going to be a Java. That's great. Someone do Vorlon from Battlestar Galactica. Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Sadly.
Did they have? Yeah, I know what a Vorlon is, but I thought they just spoke and translated English. I didn't know they had their.
And then Tammy says, "Wait, isn't Klingon a real language?" Kapla.
It is.
You can learn on Duolingo. Yes.
Yeah, you can learn it. Scorpio says, "Is that a Mass Effect sweatshirt?" It is that Francis is wearing. N7, absolutely representing.
Mm-hmm.
Commander Shepard.
Pig Latin.
That's funny, actually. Speaking binary, Elvish, Mogwai. What's Mogwai?
Gremlins.
Gremlins, that's right. Mogwais are when they turn into okay, Breen, Baby Muppets. What do you want to do, Francis, out of those choices?
I want to try binary.
Wait a minute. How does that?
Binary.
That's numbers. Wait,
no,
do it again. Do it again. Okay,
right?
Great. That's great. That fits the cyberpunk theme. It's great.
I'll just and it'll add and I'll put in a few modem noises with the. Okay. I'll add some modem voice to it too.
Right.
For an inflection.
Inflection, yeah, the modem inflection, yeah.
That was from listeners made, by the way. That one, thank you, folks, for all those awesome choices. Chaz says the binary language of moisture evaporators. Okay. Nice. All right, I'm going to translate for
second
Francis.
language to me. Yes.
I'm going to translate for Francis. Marx, you get to translate for James.
Okay, the Java.
So, okay, folks, now we need a scene. So we got a Jawa and a computer, I guess. So we got a Java and a computer. And where are they?
An IBM from the 70s is what we got, right?
I don't know. We'll find out. So let us know, folks. What are the Java and computer doing, or where are they? Give us like a location or something that they're doing. I can't wait to find out what this is going to be. By the way, Tammy had also mentioned R2D2, and then she said, but then somebody has to be C3PO. Not necessarily.
But
what inside relations?
Yes.
I can't say that language. Oh.
Like how you're flailing your arms around. C3PO.
It's what he does. It's what.
Oh my God. Frick, my oldest friend. Yes.
All right. Yes. Yeah, I could,
Somebody had said cats and Julia had said cats and dogs, I guess as the languages, and then Scorpio says cats and dogs. I love it. That would be the shit. Which also got flagged, by the way.
Well, sure.
Because cats.
Yeah,
I know, right?
You can't see.
Hey, that was people hated that movie, so I understand. I get it.
That'd be terrible. They just flag bad movie references.
They had to
Wait, no, we've already mentioned Johnny Mnemonic though earlier today.
Oh, come on now. Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, I love Keanu Reeves, dude, but that's not a good movie.
No.
I saw that movie in theaters, man.
You got to take many swings to hit the ball sometimes, and he's definitely taken his share of cyberpunk swings.
Yeah, dude, but he's been in one of the greatest movies ever, Matrix. I think Keanu Reeves is great. I'm a big fan of his.
Yeah, I just wish I could do. Oh man, my kingdom for someone to do the Keanu Reeves British accent from Dracula. Oh, I can't. Love someone to do that.
Is that a fake language?
Did he do a British accent?
He did. He did a British accent for Dracula, and it was terrible. It was one of the worst things you'll hear. You need to look it up on YouTube. It's very funny.
I like that movie, though. It's a good movie.
Well, yeah, it has
Gary Oldman.
It has Gary Oldman as Dracula. Yeah.
Great movie.
All right. Since we just momentarily lost Marx, we're gonna.
No, I'm still here.
Oh,
it's just a video.
Your video.
I'm turning off my camera to see if it helps with my feed or not. Sorry.
I mean, technically, also turn off. It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know. I figure maybe people will see us at some of it. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I'm back.
All right, that was amazing, Marx.
It's magic of the 90s.
All right. Hang on, I'm trying to readjust the screens here. Okay, I don't know why nobody can see it probably, but anyway. All right, here we go. We got some suggestions now. That was a good wasting time there, Mark. So we were waiting to get the chat in.
So we got a Jawa.
Jawa's trying to use an ATM from Scorpio. The computer wants to be updated to Windows 2000.
Oh God.
They're serving coffee in the Death Star canteen.
Mm-hmm.
Jawa trying to sell the PC to a collector. That's funny. That's from Tammy. Was trying to pick a movie at Redbox, looking for hand sanitizer, finding Jabba the Hutt has it all. Okay. Let's see here. These are a lot of great choices. Let me see I want to see which one I want to choose here. Something I like to kind of sometimes combine a couple. Let's say that Jabba was trying to use an ATM in the Death Star and try to get coffee in the whatever coffee shop there.
Hot. Too hot. Yeah, that's all right. Let's go.
All right. Yeah. So James is the Jawa. Francis is the computer. Marx will translate for James. I will translate for Francis. There's a Jawa trying to use an ATM, which I guess maybe will be part of the computer. We'll see. And also trying to get some coffee in the Death Star canteen. So let's start with James. Oh, sorry, and Marx, you'll translate as soon as he speaks, and then Francis will go and I'll translate, and we'll go back and forth like that.
Okay, cool. Work for me this time. Work for me this time. Work for me this time. Damn it.
I'm sorry, I just got done fucking R2-D2. I cannot give you money now.
Oh, wow. That's good.
What TV?
Where's the video?
Ooh.
I'm sorry, I do not have that video. Perhaps you would enjoy some funny cat videos instead.
That's okay, but they taste a lot better than they are to watch.
Jesus. I'll have to take your word for it. I cannot taste anything. It's very sad. I have to sit on this stupid Death Star and watch Darth Vader force choke everybody and destroy all my robot friends. My life sucks.
Man, that really blows. How about I disconnect you from this machine and take you for a party?
Beep boop boop beep boop boop beep boop beep.
Wow, that sounds wonderful. I would love to party. Hey, where can we go? I hear the Mos Eisley Cantina is really safe.
Yeah, and they got good drugs too, man.
All right, let's stop there.
Oh wow, I can't do that, Dave. Yeah.
I was waiting for Alf to somehow get involved here. I was like, eating cats. I thought that was Alf's.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they really look like underneath all that. Just a bunch of owls.
Willie? Willie?
Yeah, sorry. When you first started, Francis, you were sounding like R2D2 to me. That's why.
Oh yeah, well that was the point. Yeah,
I figured.
I tried to use every computerish. I almost got to HAL. If we did the drugs, I would have gone to HAL. I was ready to go there. The moment we took drugs, he would have been there.
And with Jalu 3, this did get blue fast. Woo!
Yeah. And then Scorpio says, yeah, that took a quick turn. Bwahaha. Well, listen, you guys wanted cats. We worked the cats in at least. So
yeah,
we got something there.
Cats in there. You give us a little more time. We worked dogs in too.
Listeners,
Well-
this computer is really Hal. Okay.
How do you think? How do you think C-3PO is getting?
All right.
No, never mind.
I don't know.
You just
Tammy,
got
by the way,
flagged by YouTube.
I know,
Tammy-
right?
This whole show's gonna be flagged. Tammy says, "OMG, I had a PC with ME. That's like the 2000 version.
Millennium Edition.
Millennium, that's right.
Yeah.
She said no viruses ever. I don't think anyone thought it was worth writing them.
That was the one after that. What was it? Right before it was.
Before
Microsoft,
XP?
was the Microsoft Vista, right?
That was after XP, right? Vista, or no?
I thought
I
Vista
don't
was,
Vista was after XP. ME was actually sandwiched in between those two, if I remember correctly.
There you go.
Ah.
That's the one everyone needed.
Yeah. All right. All right. Jalu says force choke. Is that a kink? Could be. Probably is for Vader.
I'm not.
I mean, he did it. I don't know. He did
It's
that.
got mask, black leather.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, man. He's a kinky guy.
Breathes
Breathing.
hard.
Yeah,
That's why he's breathing hard all the time.
I'm enjoying this too much. This is way too much fun.
God, that's great.
Ooh, ah. Ooh, ah. I can't imagine James Earl Jones making those voices, those sounds, though. God. Yes, harder. Yeah. Anyway.
No, please do more of your perverted Vader impression.
So what's next? Yeah.
Boy, this is the strangest show we've ever done. All right, we're gonna a little later on. We're gonna talk the best of the '90s. We're gonna play Ultimate Geek Championship. But now let's talk to our guest. Let's talk to James some more about what his projects are. I mean, we're talking to him obviously the whole show, but we're gonna talk specifically about his projects right now. So let's start with the last time you were on. I think Hacked came out very recently at that point. But for people, it's been a couple years since you've been on. You want to tell people a little bit about the movie Hacked?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so for those of you who haven't had a chance to see it, it is very much akin to, our earlier conversation about Cyberpunk, less the cats and dogs, but I digress. It is, a technological thriller, kind of in the vein of, Michael Crichton novels, and it tells a story of what happens when an AI runs amok in a office building, a high security office building, and it features some really very eccentrically dressed and decorated hacktivists, and bad things happen from there, man. It's a kind of takes a turn, but I think it's a lot of fun, and I might be a little biased there, but you can check it out right now on Amazon Prime as a subscriber. It's there and ready to go. You don't need to rent it or anything. Just stream.
Nice.
I watched it last night. So I liked I liked a lot of stuff about it, but I especially liked your two lead actors, Jayhawk and they're not the characters' names. Jayhawk and the guy who played Charles. It was really interesting too, if I'm remembering the name correctly.
Charles rocks.
Yeah, my wife especially liked.
Julie, his wife watches it apparently.
That's a disembodied voice telling us what's going on.
Oh, it's Marx's AI voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
He watches all his
Yeah,
movies with it,
I mean,
with her.
that was the heart of the movie for me. It was very much, drawing from my experiences, working kind of in the corporate world and the jobs you do while you chase your dreams by night. And it was kind of a dynamic that came out of that experience, that quiet desperation, But just the kind of conversations you have to kill time are, we've gotten a flavor of that right now. So it's good times.
All right. Sorry. I'm looking at the chat. I think they're actually more of a delay than normal that's going on because they said, "Haha, dying of laughter here from Jalou," and Scorpio says, "Great game, guys." So they may have just heard the end of that game. That's fine. They're getting it all. It's just a little bit delayed.
Yeah. 5 minutes. I love it.
So Scorpio says, "So has Jeff had to approve my comments all along? Hell, thanks, man. I had no idea YouTube was such a bitch about a potty mouth." It actually seems like it's gotten worse, to be honest with you, Scorpio. No, you did not used to have to usually approve all these things as much.
Right.
There's a reason. They are relying more and more on their automated systems, particularly at this moment in time. So that's why.
You're totally right. I got a message about that too from them. Yeah, that makes total sense actually. So that's why. All right.
That's why the
I have no
computers.
problem. I'll approve it all, man. It's all good.
It's the robots, man.
Oh,
They're taking
I'm gonna start typing stuff now. It's gonna be crazy now.
You should go for it, Marks. I can't wait to see now. Now that you said that, I'm throwing down the gauntlet to you.
I don't fucking understand why it's happening. You'll start using fake cursing. Let's see what happens.
Listener says James is a master of 3D printing. Is that true, James?
Master, that's a strong word, but I've done a lot of work in it and done a lot of my own custom designs and things, and done a lot of what's the word that I'm trying to think of? But I do a lot of work for work that people order and stuff like that. There's a word for that. Anyway, but yeah, it's definitely a passion of mine, and I consider myself a maker, and I like to tinker, like to put in different code and see what comes out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's how you get Skynet.
Somebody has to do it.
3D printing leads to Skynet. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk about your comic in just a minute, your upcoming comic, but I think Necrodius in particular, and he's been a long-time viewer, he's great, but he's particularly delayed because he just said Charles in charge. Which, by the way,
Cyberpunk.
I love that show. I actually just rewatched that show on NBC. It's like online thing recently. So I'm totally cool that you can mention Charles in Charge anytime you want. But I'm trying to figure out what it was in reference to.
Reference to, because
When you hear this a half an hour from now, let me know. Let me know.
He's on the ninth.
What Charles in Charge is in reference to.
Well, it could be in the future. He's actually gotten to the future part of the show where we're talking about the 90s, and he's bringing up Charles in Charge.
Oh, that's I should have put that on the list. Thank you. You're right. There you go. Good job, Necrodius. Thank you for joining us in the future. Okay, so anyway, James, you said you have a comic coming up that you're working on called The Boatman. Is there anything you can tell us about that or at all? Or
Absolutely. No, it's project I'm really excited about. It's been the last 5 years in the making. I wrote it. Greg Warrencheck is the artist, and the character and world is co-created by myself and my business partner, Brooke Kaufman. And we're excited to launch it later this year. It's going to be my first endeavor into comic creating, and I'm really stoked to share it. It's basically, it's tangential to Cyberpunk in the sense that we are delving into the noir genre, but it's modern day with modern technology. But it slowly reveals that there is more going on behind the scenes, and we get kind of into a mythological realm as the story deepens, and it gets kind of twisty-turny. But it deals with a fine art dealer, Michael Lancaster, who has the most valuable piece in his collection stolen by a cat burglar with very but hackery skills, we might call them. And it's about the chase to get this invaluable painting back that turns out is worth more to him, a lot more to him than just money. So kind of
very intriguing.
A bit of a mystery, thriller, action sort of story.
Awesome.
Called The Boatman.
Very cool.
Keep an eye out for that later this year, folks. And did you say maybe you had some other film projects you might be able to mention a little bit that you're working on, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have several different projects that Baruch and I are working on, but right now it's kind of a chase to see which one we can get out of the gate faster. A lot of them we're definitely kind of departing a little bit from the technological side of Hacked and exploring more avenues of, straight up horror. And actually, this will be apropos of our later discussion about the 90s. We have a revival of 90s slashers called Hurricane Party, set in Miami, that is very exciting. It takes place during Hurricane Andrew on a boat, and again, bad things happen. Bad things happen to good people. Good things happen to bad people, and the plot thickens. So
instead of tornadoes, instead of sharks in a tornado, it's slashers in a hurricane.
Yeah, it definitely, it's twisty. It's very much 96 was a big year for movies, but I loved the movie Scream. And it's very heavily inspired by that, in the sense that we're trying to take a stab, if you will, at kind of subverting genre expectations in the same way that Scream did so just masterfully. So we're trying our hand at that, and yeah.
That's great. Scream is actually on my list of best things about the 90s.
Can we colon it and be colon slurricane? Or, slasher. Enjoying
Slasher King.
Slasher
King.
Slasher Sharknado 7 in front of it and get that kind of money.
Yeah, Slasher King is Slasher Hurricane.
So in the chat, William Cox says, "Hi James, it's your brother Will. Looking forward to seeing The Boatman released."
That's right. We're all looking forward to that, and that's going to be something we get excited about. Yeah,
Will.
Yeah. Some familial connections here. So we're one big family.
Can I ask, whenever your brother speaks to you or comes in the room, does he say, "Hi James, it's your brother Will"?
Yes, because he's speaking through binary. It's the only way I can tell.
Good.
It's all ones and zeros.
I'm just teasing. Thank you very much for watching. I just thought that was kind of funny. That's all.
There's a lot of William Coxes out there, Jeff. It could be anybody.
No, I know. We didn't know who he was, and that was very helpful for us, actually. I appreciate that. So, by the way, Necrotis had said, LOL, you mentioned the name Charles earlier, and yes, the delay is amazing. Okay, so that's where Charles and George came from. But I guess Necrotis maybe not be too far behind, because he does say he's trying to get banned by mentioning naughty words. This did not get banned at all, maybe because he hashtagged it. He mentioned two things that were, and this shows what a long viewer he is. This is things like way in the past of Super Geeked Up, these things that came up. Hashtag Pixel Tits, which is a reference to the original Lara Croft video game we started talking about, and one of our viewers said that, hashtag Pixel Tits. And hashtag grenade penis, which I remember, and I do not remember how we ever came up with that, though, why that came up. But yes, that's old school SG right there.
Wow.
But YouTube is totally fine with both those comments.
We need a SGU wiki so we can get all the past references.
Shit. Yes, that'd be good, man.
Yeah.
Notes on all this shit. I mean, I keep
Or
notes.
an urban dictionary.
Yeah.
Whichever.
I know. I need we need like our own SGU dictionary. All right. Oh, Jalou says have a '90s theme show where it's just karaoke of singing '90s theme songs.
That's just life. That's not a show. That's just
life.
Regular life.
That's your regular life. Pretty good. Well, Listeners May did put the lyrics to the Charles in Charge theme in there, so I appreciate that.
But I mean, because I think anytime you go to a karaoke bar or go to any type of karaoke thing, '90s songs are the ones that are mostly sang, right? A lot of '90s songs.
Specifically theme songs he's talking about. '90s theme songs.
A lot of '90s theme songs don't have. I guess I can do Knight Rider. Just for the.
That's '80s, but I love that. I love that.
Yeah, like Family Matters, all those comedies had.
Yeah, Step by Step.
Yeah.
Day by Day.
Nanny had a good one.
Oh God,
you know which one's been in? So the one's been in my head the last couple of days is Baywatch. Because here's the thing, I never watched Baywatch when it was originally on, except maybe catching a scene here or there.
Sure.
But since I'm trying to save money, I'm watching this thing called. All right, Mark's fine. I religiously watched it. You have to call me out. There's this thing called Pluto TV, which is totally free.
Oh yeah.
So I've started to save money. I've started to watch that recently, and there's a Baywatch 24/7 channel. So I've been watching some Baywatch, just like in the background, kind of. But I'm like, that's a good theme song, man. Like I dig this theme song to Baywatch.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have to.
I'm glad that. I'm glad that a lot of theme songs, especially up until the 2000s, they explained the show for the most part. They would tell you what was going on, or they'd give you at least an idea of what it was about.
Yeah,
I miss that.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That's the most classic one, yeah. Tell you the whole story in the rap.
That's the de facto of '90s theme songs, but we need more. Nothing in the 2000s. It's just like a 10-second, ditty, and that's it. And then you get into the show. No, tell us what's going on.
They want more advertiser space. That's why they just cut that.
It could be my first episode, though. I could be in the middle of the Goldbergs. I have no idea what the Goldbergs are about. I need that little bit of intro at the beginning.
Francis, write the Goldbergs theme song right now.
Oh, I couldn't because I don't watch the show.
I was really excited.
Oh. How about Lost? There's a bunch of people on an island. Or actually, I guess it would be more like Gilligan's Island, right?
Goldbergs. I thought that was about the 80s.
Yeah.
Are they dead? Are they not? We don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think we could do that for that's a good segment, James. I got to write this down. Hang on.
Theme songs.
Come up with theme songs for shows that don't have really have one, or come up with an actual verbal lyric theme song.
Yeah.
That explains the show.
Man, Jeff, you're always trying to find a way for us to sing. You're trying to find excuses for us to sing. What is up with that?
Well, your voice is so amazing and lovely. I'm just trying to give you the opportunity.
Well,
what would Star Trek Picard's be, Jeff?
Star Trek Picard?
Yeah.
I'm a really old fucking dude. I hate Starfleet. I gotta save this android chick. I don't know.
No, but it has to be the theme of though. The Next Generation. You have to do it to the theme of the Star Trek The Next Generation.
Wait.
So
I gotta do that theme.
That one, yeah. Go ahead.
I'm an old fucking dude. I really hate Starfleet. That was much better. You're right. That was much better.
We have a winner. We have folks.
What you heard right now, or the Star Trek. What's the Archer?
Archer. Oh.
It's been a long road getting from there to here.
Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah.
I see. Here's the thing. When people make fun of that, I really like that song.
It's
a good song.
See, the song is really good, and also though, I know it bucks the trend of the instrumental themes that Star Trek usually did, but it also I think was the perfect for that show, right? it was all
Right.
about like that was that's their first time into space, really, right? Like in terms of that kind of like really exploring the galaxy. It has been a long road. Like they show that through NASA and everything. Like to get so to me like that epitomized like what the journey of.
I would have went with Magic Carpet, right?
Well, that was great in First Contact.
First Contact.
Yeah.
That was appropriate for
Zephyr
Cochrane. For Cochrane, that was very appropriate.
Oh my gosh.
I really like that. I'm down with the Enterprise theme song though. Yeah. But thank you for that idea, James. You gave me a great idea for a segment to do in the future.
That's fun.
That's what I want to do. If you would like to see us do that, folks.
Yeah, well, in 20 minutes, let us know.
Okay. But I actually do like the Picard theme song. It's not like memorable like the other ones really, but it's still nice. Like it has some like nice hooks to it. I feel.
Oh yeah, it's not bad. It's good.
All right. Sorry, I'm just looking at. Oh, this just says Pluto TV is great. There's a channel that plays Geek and Sundry Contact, Doctor Who episodes, The Addams Family. There is a Doctor Who channel. Like they have a lot of channels that are all that like Science Theater 3000, 24 hours. I've been watching a lot of American Gladiators because there's an American Gladiators channel because I loved that show back in the day. Both.
Oh my God.
I can't get to work on my Roku right for some reason. Every time I watch it, like I watch like a Doctor Who.
Like watching this show right now. It's frozen.
No, but I'll be watching it for maybe 2 minutes, and then it just switches over to some other random show. And literally, like if I try to click over to any other channel, it'll be still that show. It's usually some stupid. And it takes like 30 minutes, and then finally I get Doctor Who back, and I'm like, what just happened? So I don't know what's going on with that app.
Well, you can try it on your computer. That's why I watch. I watch on my computer.
I haven't tried.
I will say though, a lot of times it'll skip back and play stuff in the episode that's already been played. Like jump like 10 minutes back, but if I just change channels and back again, it'll fix itself and be updated. But yes, it is free TV, so it's not the most reliable thing you're gonna watch.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Right.
Good, man. Cool. All right, let's just make a big fan of that. Jalou says a Johnny Cash song would be the Picard miniseries. All right, which Johnny Cash song?
Yeah, sure.
Necrodia says Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers theme song was catchy. Absolutely, man. So many animated theme songs of the 80s and 90s were super catchy.
Some crimes.
Oh my God, you remember? That's amazing.
I don't through the cracks, but these two gumshoes are picking up the slack. There's no case too big, no case too small. If you need help, just call.
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Why didn't anybody else join in? You fucking asshole.
What's funny is the day that he has non-musical guests is the day that we're all singing something. I love it. We can't get the musical guests. He was great, man.
You guys were supposed to come in on the chorus. He set us up.
Oh,
that was impressive, James.
I was playing my lighter. My lighter's in there,
and I was dancing. You're busy dancing. I was getting to the groove.
That was great, James.
Jeff and I we're in sync here.
Yeah,
you know?
That's right. Bye. Sorry, I thought we wanted to do in sync.
Tammy is absolutely correct. Firefly had an excellent theme song.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Scorpio is with me. He says Enterprise had a beautiful intro. Thank you, sir. I'm with you. Oh, and Chad says I'm going to have to get Pluto TV. Awesome. I convince people all this stuff, and I never get any money out of it.
You kind of me because I'm probably going to check it out after the show because I've been looking for You should get a referral code and get stuff for it.
I watched
a bunch of people.
I watch random things on there like Mexican wrestling and stuff because
that's the thing. They have a lot of stuff on there that you will never see anywhere else, or you didn't know existed, or totally forgot about. Like I just watched this '80s movie that was actually really good, and I never heard of it before. Like this comedy.
What was the name of it? Do you remember?
I'm gonna fucking forget. But the plot was this teenage girl didn't think she was being taken seriously as a writer because she was a girl, and this is the '80s, remember?
Right.
So she dressed as a boy, went to another school, and she tried to see if she could be, if things were different being a boy instead of a girl.
That Amanda Bynes movie?
No. It's honestly, it was an actress. She was good, but I never heard of her before, actually.
Oh.
Like, it was not any of the 80s, actors you would think would be in those movies. It was interesting. Yeah, it was good though. It was funny movie.
It
Yeah,
actually
but they
came
have
out
like all
last
these
year.
like Hong Kong or like martial arts films, right? Like on there.
Yeah,
These
they
obscure
got all
martial
sorts
arts
of stuff.
films.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm down with that.
All
I'm
right, let's
picking
just
up
make
what-
Mark's telling you, Mark's to uninstall and reinstall it. He had the same problem when he first installed it on his Roku.
Okay,
Huh?
I will.
There you go. Thank you, listeners, mate.
Mhm.
All right. How did we get on? I don't even know how we. Oh, songs.
Oh, our sponsor, Pluto TV, of course.
Yeah.
You know?
That was all it took. It took one Charles in charge.
I want to
to-
get super knocked up on Pluto. That's what I want to do. Marks, I think
Oh, that'd be great.
we should suggest to them a independent web series channel
We should, yeah.
or just independent content in general. We can all get our stuff on there
Heck yeah. Sounds good to me.
because they have
Have fun.
advertisements, so they're getting money.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they're
All
owned by Viacom, CBS now.
Oh, is Pluto?
Oh,
Pluto's
not
owned by
really?
Viacom?
Yeah, I think they bought them not too long ago.
Huh.
I don't
Francis
like
is very
that.
dismayed by that.
Like that.
Yeah, I thought
I just-
they were. I don't know. Not as-
Evil corporations, Cyberpunk.
Hey, don't put it behind a paywall like they did with CBS All Access. Just don't put it behind a paywall.
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
They're
no,
gonna.
That's their whole thing. Is it's totally free. They're like that's their hook to people.
Rumor is they're gonna pump up CBS All Access with Viacom content. So, but yeah, they'll keep Pluto free, I'm sure.
All right, well there you go. All right.
By the way, Scorpio says, and I'm James. I think this was to your singing, probably. That was amazing. To your chip.
Oh, there you go.
For, we'll say that's what it is because
I thought it was.
who's
fantastic.
going to say otherwise? Unless Scorpio says otherwise. Hey, I'll take it.
Scorpio is
Thank
the
you.
king.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He's the Scorpio King. Yeah.
Scorpio.
That's good.
Poorly rendered, half scorpion, half rock man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And half second, no. Oh man, that scene when he just jumps in after he gets. Anyway, never mind. Funny scene in that
Anyway,
movie.
so we were just finishing up talking about James's content. So please check out Hacked on Amazon Prime. Like you said, if you're a Prime subscriber, you can just stream it anytime you want. Or if you're not, you can also. I was looking at earlier. You can rent it or buy it as well and help James out that way.
Yeah.
Word.
And
Thank you.
look for his other stuff coming up. So speaking of supporting things, folks, so I just completely, so we, as some of you know, and some of you are supporters of us, thank you very much. We have a Patreon page. I spent the last couple of days totally rehauling this page. So I totally rewrote it. And also I made a whole ton of new tiers or membership levels, like of how you can support us. So, so let me just, a couple of things I just want to mention that are out there. And I tried to make a lot of these very low level, very cost effective. I would certainly love your support. But we have now, I just created today a Super Geeked Up Discord server. So this is going to be a private server just for anybody who supports us. That's only going to be $2 or more per month. But as Francis pointed out to me yesterday as we we're talking about this, that's only 50 cents per show because we do 4 shows a month. That's how he was selling it to me, or how you sell it.
Yeah. Since this content, you're crazy.
Yeah. So we have a Discord server where you can go and chat anytime, and I'll be on that a lot. And by the way, folks, if you're already pledging more than that, please contact me so I can get you onto that server. I can send you a link. So you can either you can tweet me if you want, or you can email me, jeff@supergeekedup.com, or message me in how other way you usually get in contact with me, and I'll get you on there right away. We're also going to start doing, we started doing this last week. We're doing a bonus segment every show, but we're going to start doing that like as after hours bonus content only for Patreon supporters, like so a special extra live stream. That'll be
After hours.
Yeah.
Through the stripping?
Well, if you want to, Marks, that's how I put on the Patreon page you were going to strip, actually. So I hope you're all right with that.
Oops.
I took one of those pictures you sent me.
You weren't supposed to show anybody that.
Well, you usually said don't show your wife, so I didn't. Or don't tell your wife I haven't. Anyway, so we're going to do an extra fun segment for people. That's only $3 per month for that thing. We're going to do these special fandom episodes. So once a month, we're going to do an extra episode, probably like a couple hours, where we're going to like different, whatever, like maybe one show all about Star Wars or Star Trek or Harry Potter MCU, whatever. Went on Earth we did in the past, So we're gonna do those. We're gonna do an extra episode where just for Patreon people, just of that. And another thing I just added, as you guys know, I love RPGs. I play a lot, but I also run a lot as a game master. So there's also another tier there that if you would like me to run an RPG for you on a monthly basis, which could be one shots or it could be a campaign, there's also I can do that for you guys as well. So anyway, there's other stuff. That was just a few things I wanted to mention. If you want to go to patreon.com/supergeekedup, that's where you can see all the different tiers and different stuff that's up there. I'm still got some more stuff to tweak on there, but all the tiers are up. The new membership tiers are up there now. And again, and I totally understand if you can't, folks, but I've been doing the show a long time, so we're really trying to see if we can generate a little more income. So if you can, anything at all, $1, even if it's $1 or $2, whatever, it's super appreciated. Thank you to everybody who's already doing it, like Francis and Victor, who's in the chat. So I very much appreciate it, guys. And thank you all of you just for watching. Of course, that is also certainly a very big help in subscribing and all that good stuff. And something we just started, which Francis helped me out with last night as well, suggesting this. We're kind of just so we're going to do special thank yous to people who are supporting us, special shout outs who are at the $10 level or above. So let me give some special shout outs right now to Maria and Justin Duran from KLI Brand, to Craig Allen Poole, Rachel J, Victor Snyder, and Keithos. Thank you guys all so much for your support on Patreon. I really appreciate it. You guys rock. And every single person who's on our Patreon is up on our website right now. And as a special thank you as well. All right, so there you go, folks. So thank you very much. Now we'll get back to the geeky content. I'm just looking at if I missed stuff on the chat here. Scorpio says, OMG, the Scorpio King. How have I never used that before? There you go, Francis. Good job. He likes that.
All right. Well, there you go.
He says, you've opened my eyes. You've opened my eyes. If I ever come back to entertainment journalism, I have to use that in some way. Haha, thank you, you clever bastard.
Oh, well, I think that'd be great.
I do too. All right. Oh, and before we continue, a special happy birthday to Dennis Koch. At least on Pacific time, it's still your birthday, Dennis. Dennis shares like every single post I ever make about Super Geeked Up, so I just want to give a thank you to him. He's super awesome and supportive. Happy birthday, sir. Hope it's a good one.
Yay.
All right.
Happy birthday.
No. Oh, okay. Oh, James loves singing, man. He's awesome. Should go on the Masked Singer.
Go do it.
Masked Singer, yeah.
Happy birthday to this person there. Happy birthday. It's going nowhere. Hey.
Oh.
So you can sing
in the
that,
restaurant trade, we usually use the different song. Yeah. No, the restaurant trade, you use the happy birthday from all of us to you. We wish you happy birthday so we can have fun too. Hey!
Yeah. Oh,
nice.
God.
Yeah.
That's the one.
That was a good Applebee's or whatever, Fridays.
Yeah. Oh, otherwise you get slammed with a cease and desist from Warner Brothers. So, although now that's no longer the case. That's now historical.
Nice.
The historical happy birthday song.
All right, folks, and also remember on your YouTube chat screen, there's also a thing called a super chat if you want to support us that way too, and you'll get your chat highlighted. And again, it's just another way to give us a little support. Thank you. Let's go to Super Geeky question number 2. All right, we've been teasing this all show, and we've already kind of been talking about it, but we're going to talk all 90s now. So what are your favorite things from the 90s? This could be movies, TV, video games, tech, fads, whatever else you love from the 90s. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about. Hopefully, folks, you're not going to get this. Well, we're going to talk so much about it. By the time you'll probably catch up by the time we're still talking about it.
Right.
We want to hear your 90s choices very much, though, in the chat. So please let us know about that.
Okay.
Let's see here. So let's go to Marx this time. Marx, give us a couple things from the 90s you really love.
Well, the late 90s, Stargate SG-1. That started in 97.
Yeah, yeah, Baruch, I mentioned that earlier in the chat. Stargate is a fan.
Yeah, I love Stargate franchise, and then and Buffy the Vampire Slayer started in '97 also. So.
Yeah, I forgot about Buffy. Oh my God, what a great choice.
That's really good.
Buffy. And and Babylon. And since somebody else mentioned about Babylon 5 in '94, I liked Babylon 5 quite a bit. So.
Oh, that's good. So then you remember. Then you made me remember my favorite show of all time, Star Trek: Deep Space Nine, which also got started in the '90s. 93, I believe. And awesome choice. I think we'll just kind of go around maybe a couple each, and then we'll keep popping around here because I'm sure we have a ton of stuff to talk about. The Matrix, of course, is for me at the very end of the 90s, 99, but we mentioned that, right? But I think that's a groundbreaking, revolutionary movie.
Whoa.
Yes, exactly. What more can you say except that, Fernandez?
Yeah, that's all you need. That's all you need.
I think I mentioned earlier maybe, but Saved by the Bell, it started technically in the very late 80s, but it continued mostly into the 90s, early 90s. That's one of my all-time favorite shows. I don't know, man. That show has a special place for me. It also may have been that I actually was like, I graduated the same year those characters graduated from high school, so I was like the same age as those characters were in the show. But let's go over to James. What are a couple of your things from the 90s?
I mean, there's so many things. I mean, you could stop on movies alone and talk for hours, but I'm going to pull something that's actually something I've been really enjoying lately, because it was my birthday earlier, I guess it was Friday.
Happy
was
birthday,
actually
man.
Thank you. Happy birthday. No.
So I got this kit actually from my in-laws. It was a kit to build basically a modded Game Boy with a Raspberry Pi Zero, for all you makers out there. But it really has been such beyond just building it, the experience of getting to enjoy a lot of these games in their original format has been awesome. Now, the Game Boy came out like mid 89, so technically 80s. But for me, I mean, I was all about playing, Super Mario World on there and Tetris, heavily into Tetris. And then, we talked about Shadowrun. Actually, the first Shadowrun, I think, was... there was a Shadowrun on Game Boy as well.
Oh,
so it was, yeah. Now the Raspberry Pi does play, games from other emulators, so it's actually not just Game Boy. But there's a lot of RPGs that were on the Game Boy as well that I've gotten to revisit and explore and kind of regain my appreciation for the format and everything. It was. That kind of greenish black screen. This one's an LCD, so it's a little bit easier to see. But, there was something special about that. It was the first real portable game system, at least for my childhood. And it really brings back a lot of warm feelings, of trying to, get the screen into the light so you could see what was going on. But, it was awesome.
Nice. That's great. Let me share some things in the chat here. Necrodia says the catchy cartoons Tailspin, Rescue Rangers, DuckTales, and Darkwing Duck. There you go.
Yeah, Disney Afternoon.
Darkwing Duck.
Yeah. Disney Afternoon. Yeah, we remember it.
Mm-hmm. Victor Snyder says Nokia candy bar cell phones.
I got it. And
Necrodius. Wow, James knows every freaking song ever. Necrodius says I was an Angel fan, not so much Buffy.
Sorry.
No, please keep it up. It's great.
Yeah.
That's interesting to hear, and that's cool, man. But that's interesting. I wonder. See, I thought most people went from Buffy to Angel, but I wonder how many people just found Angel kind of like separately. Interesting. Tammy says Xena and Hercules. Yes, I love those shows. Those are great choices.
Saturday afternoons weren't the same without them. I'll tell you what.
Hey, by the way, Francis, Hercules is a show. Actually, both of them, but the show where it totally gave a nice voiceover in the beginning that told you what was going on. This is the story of a time long ago.
Oh, that was so good.
And it was a great theme song after that, too.
Oh, yeah.
And Charles here actually reminds me, it was really a great decade for Bruce Campbell, one of my favorite actors out there. So like, Army of Darkness. This is like 92 or 93, and he was, obviously in the Buffy, or not the Buffy, the Hercules Xena universe,
Yeah, Autolycus. That's actually how I became a fan of Bruce Campbell. It was from and Hercules.
So, yeah, it was, anyway, the Briscoe, I think the Briscoe County
Adventures
Junior.
Of Briscoe County
I think
Junior.
it was,
The Adventures of Briscoe County Junior.
It was great.
Let me share some other people's answers here. Victor said Babylon 5 was great, Mark. So there you go.
Yeah.
Listener says Steve Urkel. Yes, the best thing about Family Matters by far.
Did I do that?
That was good, Mark. Shit, man, I'm impressed. Now, can you do the Urkel dance?
I don't remember what that was, but
the only thing is it was on the other, I don't know, a couple weeks ago I saw that one again, and there's an Urkel dance, so that's just why I remember it.
All right, you're Stefan Urkel then. Let's hear Stefan Urkel.
oh, I don't remember.
Do you remember that was when
Do it, Francis. Do it.
that was when he was cool.
Yeah,
he had a normal
like,
voice.
Hey,
You
Laura.
know?
How you doing, Laura?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Laura.
It's creepy, man. Hey, Laura.
And was that? I'm trying to remember. Was that actually? Was it?
Ooh, did I do that?
So creepy.
And he played like the female cousin, right?
He
The
played the
female
female
cousin. Yeah. Yeah.
It's hilarious how that character took over the whole show. He just
did.
guest starred in season 1 and took over.
Was he? Was Stefan still him? Like something happened to him, or was it like an alternate?
He went into like a machine that made him cool.
Okay.
as people do. Was that Cyberpunk? I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Family Matters is getting all cyberpunky.
Well, there was a robot. There was an Urkel robot, right?
Robot. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Confirmed. Cyberpunk confirmed.
So your brother there, James William, he mentions one of my favorite movies that was on my list for the 90s, Jurassic Park. Fantastic choice.
Spare no expense.
Listeners Mate says, OMG, Jeff and I are the same age. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't actually know we were the exact same age, Listeners Mate. Cool. Oh, here we go. Chaz had said, my Friday night lineup was 3 slices of Jurassic pizza, a Coke, Briscoe County Jr., later followed by Star Trek Next Gen and X-Files. That's a good Friday night, actually. I kind of want the Friday night right now.
Must see TV.
Scorpio said grunge music. Absolutely in the 90s, that's for sure. Yeah.
Nirvana, right?
A lot of good music in the 90s in general, not just grunge.
Yeah.
Necrodius is with you on the Game Boy there, James.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jalou has this whole list. I'm going to read it all. This is great. Deep Space Nine, Netscape Navigator, Anime and VHS and PBS, Wing Commander, Civ on 3.5 floppies, Masters of Orion, Babylon 5, Sailor Moon, Boy Meets World, Frasier, Pinky and the Brain, Bucket of Fries. I don't know what Bucket of Fries is, but it sounds great.
Yeah,
we didn't start the fire. It's been all the turn. I
love that Billy Joel song. That's great. I don't know what
when you're listing everything off, I feel like it's Deep Space Nine, Netscape Navigator, Anime, VHS, PBS, Wing Commander, Civ, 3.5 floppies, Master of Orion. Hey, I'm not doing it a service,
no,
but you get
what
what
I get you, man. That's great.
Oh my God.
Bucket of fries. We didn't start the fire.
I think James is just finding any reason to sing. Any reason to sing.
Dude, this is the most singing we've
now
ever had on
you
the
know
show.
my secret, Francis.
Which is great. And as you know, Francis, the people who are singers like to not sing when they come on the show.
No, exactly.
We'll get to them. I've actually had singers come on that actually are happy to sing. But
oh yeah.
Scorpio says Beavis and Butthead. Listeners Mate says Ernest P. Worrell was a staple in the 90s, even though he started in the 80s.
That's right.
Cammy says Bristol County was fun. Your brother, William Cox, says every TV character had a specific dance in the 90s. All right. Oh, remember the Bart dance. Oh, did Bart Simpson have his own dance?
I remember Bartman, but I don't remember the Bart dance.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Go out there, find a GIF. It's out there, I'm sure.
All right.
Dance GIF.
Okay.
And the Perfect Strangers, they had a dance too, right? Cousins.
Did Balky have a dance?
The Dance of Joy.
Yeah, Dance of Joy.
Yeah. Then they have to. Oh man. Anyway.
All right. Let's talk some more 90s stuff. One more thing, and actually, James, I think it was probably on our pre-show, or maybe one of our things that we tried to do. You had brought up Dogma, a Kevin Smith film. So one of my things I'm realized are just Kevin Smith films in general. Kevin Smith really came to prominence in the 90s. With Clerks and Mallrats and Chasing Amy, which is still my favorite film of his.
Agreed.
So man, I was such a huge Kevin Smith fan, man. I mean, I still am, but I mean, definitely those 90s movies. No, I mean, I mean, in the 90s is when I became one. I still like Kevin Smith is awesome, man. He's a really. I was watching one of his stand-up routines the other day. It was super funny. Yeah. So I'm definitely Kevin Smith was a big part of the 90s for me. All right, no comments on that.
Yoga hosers.
Right?
All right.
It was not very good. It's like, yeah, we agree. Nod.
Well, we're audio only. This is
Chasing
not.
Amy is a great movie, though. I mean, just hands down. And I love Dog. I mean, there's certain directors that have a run that is just hard to really debate with. And his run, from Clerks to Chasing Amy, I think. Yeah.
Smaller first, then Chasing Amy. Yeah.
Can you do a serious movie too, like Red?
Red
Dawn, something.
Jersey Girl. Jersey Girl was kind of more of a
serious. It was like a romantic comedy, which I actually liked, and I know most people, a lot of people didn't, but I would have liked to have seen done more of that stuff actually.
Yeah,
he's done a lot of different stuff. He's done horror, and he's done like some teen movie.
Tusk.
Red State is definitely an understated or underappreciated movie because Red State has a nice,
yeah,
has a nice action at the end. Yeah, and it has John Goodman in it. Can't go wrong with John.
Michael Parks' like monologue in that thing. It's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. Underappreciated, I think.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Jalou says,
not here.
No, not at all.
No.
Jalou says, this is a show I think Marx and I think have definitely talked about this show a lot, but Sliders.
Oh no, you can't say it that way. You can't say it that
sorry.
way. You have to say it properly.
Sliders.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
I love that show, man. I love that show so much. And it wasn't always great, but when it was on, it was really awesome. And it still has like one of the best episodes I think that's ever been on TV. A certain episode when the Quinn goes to a world, when they go to a world where there's like a young Quinn because time is moving at different speed. So he gets to interact with the younger version of himself. Anyway, awesome show. Thank you, Jalou. Pierre Kelly says the Macarena.
We're all gonna.
I forgot it already. Already messed up the second move. Hey, Macarena. All right.
It's like an earworm for your body,
Yeah, and Jalou, you're referencing John Rhys Davies, is who played Professor Arturo. Oh wait, Professor. Help me out, Marx.
I think you had it right. I think it's Professor. Right? It sounds right.
I feel like I don't know. I said it and then I felt like I was wrong for some reason. Anyway, yeah, he played the professor.
The professor.
Yes, he also was in Lord of the Rings, and yes, in Indiana Jones, of course. Yes, he's done a lot of amazing stuff.
On dates.
Let's see. All right, well, what else? What do you guys got? Give me something else from the 90s you really loved.
I'm really amazed no one's mentioned Batman the animated series. Like,
I meant to do that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is like one of the best things to come out of the 90s. To influence the Tim Burton Batman is influenced from the Tim Burton Batman. And just like
gave us Harley Quinn.
And Harley Quinn, a lot of characters just kind of were introduced that way, and it's the definitive Batman for me. Like that is how Batman should be.
Oh yeah, that introduced us to Kevin Conroy as Batman, right? So.
Yeah, the one and only Batman in my mind.
Yeah, and Mark Hamill's the Joker.
The one and only Joker. The one and only Joker. Mm-hmm.
And also, I mean, that just kickstarted what a great run of animated series for them, right? Like they had Superman, but then Justice League is probably my all-time favorite animated one, and Justice League Unlimited. It's such an amazing run of DC animated shows.
Yeah, that was great. Have you seen Young Justice yet?
Young Justice?
Mm-hmm.
No, I know you love it though.
Yeah, I do like Young Justice quite a bit, so you should check it out sometime.
All right.
And speaking of the 90s, one of the greatest Batman movies ever made was Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh, yeah, the animated one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good call on that. Scorpio mentions Quantum Leap. That's a show I definitely loved. I watch that all the time. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Captain Planet.
Captain Planet?
Captain Planet. Oh.
That was 90s.
Heart!
Hey, you gotta have heart, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'll mention one of my all-time favorite video games, Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, I was gonna say the PlayStation. Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, the Final Fantasy VII remake is about to come out, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get it because I don't have a PS5, unfortunately. Or PS4? What are you guys on? PS4?
PS4, yeah.
PS5 is coming out in the fall, yeah.
I'm frothing out for that game. I played the demo. It was amazing.
Yeah, but anyway,
the demo was fantastic.
The original game is just like it's freaking awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yes, well, yeah, you're right. But like, PlayStation came out in the '90s. You're right. The original PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
Well, the Xbox did as well, actually. Later on,
Yes.
later on in the '90s, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so did Lara Croft. Was a '90s character.
Oh yes, my favorite video game character of all time, probably Lara Croft.
Tomb Raider is very '90s.
She came out in '95, actually. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Don't poke your eyes out. Is all I have to say. Don't poke your eyes out.
Comic books, Image Comics. It's '90s, right?
Yeah.
Spawn.
I was all about Image, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wildcats, right?
Wildcats, Youngblood, Supreme.
I love the thing called Backlash. I know a lot of people may not know that, but I love Backlash. That was an Image one.
Lots of good stuff.
Yeah. Image did have a lot of good stuff. Scorpius is the X-Men cartoon. Yeah, that's a very well-loved cartoon, the '90s X-Men cartoon.
One of the best songs too.
So much singing today. It's great.
If you put words to it, what would it be?
We're the X-Men. We're going to do this thing. Yeah. And then Magneto's going to
zap us.
Yeah, zap us.
The world hates us because we are mutants.
Oh, yeah. This is all an analogy for racism. Yes. Oh wait, you can't end there because then it's the da 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 da.
Then you just name all the characters, right? Like.
Oh yeah. Then we get back into Billy Joel.
Yeah, no, you can't do the ad.
Do that,
and to believe. We're the X-Men on Fox.
Dude, we are totally doing this fucking segment.
Call me back. I'll be there.
Yeah. Thank you for helping birth the segment.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
There. By the way, Mark, Tammy is a huge fan of Captain Planet. She says she loves it in the chat.
Yeah, he took pollution down to 0.
Hey, fun fact out there about Captain Planet. I want everyone in the chat room to go over to IMDb and look up the Captain Planet voice talent that they had on the roster for those villains.
Oh, yeah?
Blows your mind. You won't believe it. There is some real like huge names in there that you're just like, what? This person was the voice of the like Smog bad guy or whatever. I mean, we're talking about like Jeff Goldblum and
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry. Yeah. Anyway, it's a fun little rabbit hole to dive down that I invite you all to join me there.
Oh my! I'm looking at the rabbit hole now. You're right. The names on this list are insane.
Yes.
Oh my god, the names on this are absolutely insane. I love it.
Oh, I gotta check that out later. Jalou says Jeff loves Tifa? Tifa is a character in Final Fantasy VII. Absolutely, sir. I did love Tifa.
I'm more of an Aerith.
Aerith is great too. Like that's the thing. They were both so amazing. It was hard to choose. Yeah.
Well, it's easy to choose later on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, since there's a remake coming out, in case they have not played the original.
Yeah.
We'll stop right there. I will say though, the thing he's referencing is absolutely the most cinematic thing I've ever seen in any video game to this date. All right. So let's see. Scorpio says, I love comics in the 90s, the pure excess and hyper-vigilantism. So there you go. Jalou said Pizza Hut's Bigfoot Pizza was in the 90s.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow.
Was it just like a big pizza or something? What was it?
It was a pizza that was like in a rectangular shape. It was huge. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember that now. We got more pizza coming up. Necrodia says the 90s Little Caesars pizza was the iconic pizza of the decade. It was all the funny commercials, the wacky pizzas, the free toys and stuff. Man, that was fun. Pizza by the foot.
Pizza by the foot, yes. Oh man, I'm a little amazed they still exist. I'm actually a little amazed they still exist.
Chaz says the Commodore Amiga. Absolutely. Yeah, good call there.
Yeah.
So yes, Marx. Mark, it's a little later for Marx where he is, and I know we started late. So Marx, if you have to go, no problems. He just shot me a message.
Yeah, I'll try to stick around for the championship match.
Okay.
Are we naked? We have a lot of 90s stuff.
Yeah, we'll see. That's the thing. When we do these decades, which is great, there's so much amazing stuff to talk about. It's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Well, since we were mentioning a lot of animated shows, I will say just particularly in the early to mid '90s, Disney had an amazing run of animated movies. Right?
Yes.
It kicked off in the '89 with Little Mermaid, but Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin and Lion King. I mean, Jesus Christ, they could not miss, man. Like, how many awesome movies did they make?
You're tempting this singing, aren't you, here, Jeff? Is this a ploy? Is this trying to chum the waters here?
It wasn't, but I'm fine if you want to.
No, I just felt like there's some.
I challenge you to sing a song from The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is also a 90s Disney cartoon.
Oh, I think that's too dark.
Yeah, come on. You had to give him a heart. I actually never saw that one. You know what? Yeah, I never saw that movie.
Never saw Hunchback? It's all right. It's a good movie. I like it.
Yeah. I started watching it with my kids, though, and I was like, okay.
It is
Yeah. It's a rough start.
Disney also made for TV the Gargoyles in the 90s.
Oh, yes! That's also one of my favorite animated shows.
Mm-hmm.
Great pull, Marx.
That was some good voice.
And another good theme song, too.
And they also had a little voice thing in the beginning, right? That told you what the fucking deal was.
Was Jonathan Frakes the one who did the intro as Sanatos?
No.
I think so.
No, it was Goliath, I thought. No? Maybe it wasn't.
Goliath. The intro. I don't know.
Keith David.
Yeah. I thought he did. Maybe somebody else. I don't know. But yes, Jonathan Frakes was the bad guy in it. Yeah, right.
Well, yeah, and Marina Sirtis was the other bad guy.
She was the gargoyle lady bad guy.
Oh, was that her?
Yeah.
Demona. She was Demona.
Yeah. That was great, man. Good call there, Marx. People are mentioning Power Rangers, and Will Cox says Bryan Cranston was in 2 episodes of it. I did not.
That's
know
right.
That.
And the movie.
He was the voice.
The most recent movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was. That's Zordon.
By the way, Scorpio says, James, about your Captain Planet voice thing. Holy crap, dude, wasn't kidding. This is the most far out IMDb I ever read. I won't be able to close this tab for weeks. Thank you.
It's so crazy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I apologize to your friends and family. They will miss you, but it's a long list, man. It's crazy.
Any last? I'll just throw out a couple of quick things. We mentioned Scream. I don't like horror movies, but Scream is a movie I absolutely liked, and I think it did a lot for that horror things in the '90s. Kind of took things on its own a little bit.
Well, it's a murder mystery. It's a whole twist on the whole thing.
Yeah. Clueless is a movie that's I always love that movie. It was just such a fun.
Paul Rudd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Paul Rudd, man. Paul Rudd.
Where he actually looks young. Where he actually looks younger than he does now, which is amazing. Thought impossible.
You're saying he looks youthful now?
Well, he looks he looked the same for
He doesn't age at all. Yeah, you're right.
But there was a time where I'm like, oh my god, he actually looks younger than So yeah.
Proto Paul Rudd, you mean? Yeah.
Proto Paul Rudd, exactly.
Yeah, but like Blair Witch Project, Terminator 2, those are also on my list. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yes. Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else want to throw anything out quickly before we move on?
I think there's too many, really. We covered a lot.
Right. Anything that you're dying to get out there before we? Anybody?
No, actually, the chat room actually got the ones I was going to say, and so yeah. So
did you mention X-Files?
Yes, X-Files was mentioned.
All right, X-Files. Oh yeah, you're right. That did start in the '90s.
Mm-hmm. We are a show about these 2 FBI agents. Yeah. So there you go. There's my contribution.
Thank you. That was amazing.
Oh man, I want to talk about pizza more though, because I'm hungry.
let's do a whole pizza show, a whole pizza segment one time too. Jalusa's Gargoyles was great. William Cox mentions Punky Brewster. That was in the 80s. I don't know. I don't think went to the 90s, but maybe possibly. But hey, Punky Brewster was great, so by all means, I'll mention it. All good. Oh, and then Tammy, by the way, is putting the lyrics to Beauty and the Beast songs in there for your James. So there you go, James.
I know. I saw that.
Yeah, which is one of my all-time. Lion King and Beauty and the Beast are my two favorite movies there, animated ones. All right, let's go on. So thank you guys. That was great for the 90s talk. You can keep putting your things in if you want, folks, by all means. But let's go on to UGC Ultimate Geek Championship. Hey, Francis, how does this work?
Yeah. Well, we get pairs of fictional characters suggested by the audience, and we decide who we think would win in an epic battle to the unconsciousness, not death.
Okay, good. Thank you. I like
to the pain. To the pain.
Yeah, to the pain. There you go.
Princess Bride, right?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, Liz May wants to know, was Francis's appearance on The Price is Right in the 90s?
Oh, no, that was early 2000s.
Okay.
That was 2006. Yeah, something like that. 2006,
right.
2004.
So, folks, we need give us any fictional characters you want. Just give us pairs of fictional characters that you want to see us battle it out, and we'll argue them. But let's come up with ones on our own first to get started, because there's a little bit of a delay.
We'll give him a minute.
So here, somebody. Let's do 90s characters. So somebody give me a 90s character.
Chip versus Dale.
Oh, okay, Chip versus Dale from Rescue Rangers. So maybe you guys can help me out. Chip was the more serious one, and Dale was kind of the goofy one. Is that right?
Yes. Dale was the one who wore the Hawaiian, Hawaiian
shirt.
Yeah.
That's how you knew it was Dale.
And Chip had the one with the fedora and the bomber jacket.
Oh, right. So what do you think? Who do you think, James? Who would win?
This is in a physical fight?
It can be anything.
Oh, yeah. Okay. A battle of wits?
Normally it's some kind of that way, but maybe you could use your brains to win that fight, somehow.
Yeah. I mean, I would hate to see the two of them fight. I have to be honest, man. That's really painful to think about. But I do believe there was an episode where they did get into a bit of a fisticuffs. And although I think maybe Dale was an alien, so maybe that's not quite right. But I'm pretty sure that Chip won, But I'll go with Chip because I think he's just a little bit more focused. I don't know.
I'll give a caveat to this then to make it a little more fun. Chip versus Dale for Gadget's heart.
Oh, there we go. I like that.
Did they both like Gadget?
I thought they did.
She was sort of the Smurfette of the Chip and Dale universe.
Yeah. Well, no, Gadget was cool.
Yeah. Brain operation.
Well, she was. You're absolutely right. I don't know. Yeah, this is a real tough one, Francis. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like maybe Chip and Gadget would be more compatible, but I don't know. Maybe just Gadget wants to have some fun after doing all that,
I think this may be a murder F kill situation here, and and perhaps Gadget would have to make a rough choice, and we have to throw in Monterey Jack in there now too, because you can't play with just two characters. So or Zipper the Fly. It would have to also be in consideration and contention if we're going to open it up like this. I would have to say it's got to be marry Chip because he's a much more practical and sensible choice. I think he can hold down a job and clean up after himself. I think Dale is probably a lot more fun. So yeah. And then I think do you kill Monterey Jack or do you kill Zipper?
You kill Zipper.
I'll leave that to the folks at kill Zipper because he's a fly. Why?
All right, I'm gonna go Dale just because he's more fun.
Theoretically.
Marx, do you have anything, Chip or Dale?
Yeah, I'd pick Chip probably. but maybe they'll Gadget and then we'll have an untraditional relationship with all three. We don't know.
Boy.
We can't judge.
There.
Tammy just says she has to go because it's getting late. Of course, thank you so much for hanging out with us, Tammy. You're awesome. And all right, so we got a lot of good choices here in the chat now, folks. A lot of good battles people are putting in here. Let me see. All right, let's start with this one.
I'm gonna do one more and then I gotta go too.
Okay.
All right.
Can you see the chat? Do you want to pick one since you have to go?
Oh, I can't. I'm not looking at chat right now.
I'll pick one for you. Okay, I think you would like this one, Marx. I'll go with Necrodius. Is the Joker versus Sabretooth, the battle of tricks and wits versus cunning and power. Marx, I'll start with you. The Joker versus Sabretooth.
I feel like Sabretooth would win because he just would tear him up. Joker would say some joke thing to distract him, and Sabretooth would be like, "Rah, I don't care," and just rip him to pieces.
And Sabretooth has a healing factor. So
he has a healing factor, yeah.
So when Joker squirts him in the with his poison flower, he'll just heal. It's fine, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Just to be fair, I think the Joker might be more persuasive than that, and he might be able to convince Sabretooth that, maybe he's got to team up and work together. The Joker's a pretty clever cat. I wouldn't discount that necessarily.
Have to team up, take out Darkclaw. Remember that? The amalgam.
The amalgam. Yeah,
combo of Batman and Wolverine. So
yeah,
they would have to. They would have to team up because
how else
who
could
can
you
stop
beat Darkclaw?
Adamantium Claws and the Greatest Detective all mashed into one?
I mean, it depends on the scenario, right? If Joker's got it's like one of his lairs or something, or he's got to have traps and stuff. So,
that's yeah.
And the Joker fish from the animated series,
Joker fish, yes, yeah.
I wonder if Joker gas would affect Sabretooth or not, or his healing factor would cancel it out. I mean, I don't know.
It would affect him a little bit, but then it would go away quicker.
He would probably smell it and be more unawares about it. So that's true. He's got that heightened sensoriness.
Oh, yeah. So maybe he'll be more affected by it because he's more sensitive to it.
Oh,
it's possible.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. Well, it also depends on what version you're talking about, because like the original movie version was just meathead, Sabretooth.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Wolverine Origins?
Wolverine Origins, yeah. He was a lot more intelligent.
Liev Schreiber?
So.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was thinking the animated series, just to be fair. I was thinking Mark Hamill's Joker, and I was thinking whoever Sabretooth. I don't know the voice actor behind Sabretooth on the X-Men show.
I don't know.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
You're in that page.
All right. All right. Well, so we're gonna do some more battles here, but Marx has to take off. But Marx,
sorry guys.
Before you do, please tell people where they can catch you online.
Catch me online over at Twitter at Mr. Marx. Also on my website, marxpyle.com, where you can find our podcast I co-host with Julie called Genretainment, and all my other little film projects and writing projects and stuff. So, all right.
All right. Thanks so
See
much
guys.
for being here, man. Have
All right. Good fun. All right. Bye.
Yawn.
All right, folks. We're continuing on. So let's let's do the Disney one. By the way, Jalou had said that Gadget was too good for either of them, and I think that was the best answer, actually.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
She does not need to settle.
So Jalou also I think had a good matchup here for Disney Mulan versus Ariel.
Well,
so my first instinct
Mulan's the only one with martial training here. Yeah. I think there's no contest.
That's my first instinct was absolutely say Mulan because she's a martial artist and she's awesome.
Yeah.
But if we're in the water,
Donny Osmond made a man out of her.
If we're in the water, it's a totally different situation, right? So
she's like Aquaman in the water. She has control of the fish. She has control of not control of, but she can. Hey, fellas, Sea Life, help me out. I can, Sea Life can help her.
She can breathe underwater. She can swim really fast.
Influential dad.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, Mulan's dad was influential when he was a respected member of society in their village. So yeah,
he wasn't the king though.
No, it wasn't and he doesn't have a. Yeah.
Although Mulan does have a fire-breathing, well, sort of dragon. I mean, does he? Oh, he does finally breathe fire, right? At the end.
He does breathe fire, right? but water.
I'm saying maybe Ariel would be, hurt by that though. The fire.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, she would. But yes, Mushu does have. Yeah. I think Ariel, because she has the water. She has more. I hate to say it. Sorry, Mulan, but she has more friends. She has way.
Well, Mulan did make friends with the whole company though of people.
Yeah, but they're not a. They're not a whale or a shark, or or an electric eel.
Yeah, I think unfortunately, because I love Mulan, I think I had to go Ariel too. Unless it's Ariel in human form, then obviously Mulan.
Oh yeah, Ariel. Ariel is done.
I guess it depends who has home field advantage. I guess is kind of where this falls.
That's super important in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
In space, they both die. That's really the end of the story.
Yeah.
We got from Lister's mate, Steve Urkel versus Carl Winslow. So a Family Matters throwdown. So.
I know the answer.
I love that. That's actually, I think, what made that show work. The interaction of those two characters was just so good.
Yeah. I thought it handled after Nakatomi Plaza. I thought Carl Winslow could handle anything.
Well, that's what I was saying. Carl could. You beat me to it. I was gonna say he could just call him John McClane, his buddy, to help him out.
Could handle anything after that.
But Urkel guest starred in Full House, so she can get the Full House gang to come over and not be helpful at all, probably.
That's true. The power of Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, right? that's the might that he wields.
Well, you know what? I think I was going to go Urkel because Urkel's he's a genius, right? I think Urkel would just invent whatever amazing thing he needed, right?
He's got a robot. Done.
A robot. He can turn into different personalities with his machines.
But see, if this is a fight,
give himself martial arts training or something.
But Carl is a cop, though, right?
He is.
So he's got a gun. So it's sort of like Indiana Jones with the guy with the swords, isn't it? I mean,
but one episode, Steve came in a suit of armor, which would deflect the bullet from hitting him.
Armor. Wait. What kind of armor is this?
Like a knight suit of armor, like a suit of armor you wear in the Middle Ages.
Yeah, not in the armpits though. That place is still vulnerable.
That's true.
He just keeps he's not like C-3PO where he's flailing all around like Francis does.
I don't know. Urkel did a lot of gesticulating. I don't know if he can help himself.
No, but it was more down here with his pulling his pants up and stuff, and
Oh, that's true. Oh, but if his pants fall down, I mean, dude's vulnerable. He's prone.
But he has suspenders, so that never happens.
Shoot this.
There you go.
Pants go down.
That's his Death Star, really. Is his suspenders.
Steve knows how to push Carl's buttons better than anybody, right? He'll just get him so frustrated, and he'll just be he'll be floundering because he's so mad, and he won't know what to do.
No, then yeah.
I don't know. I'm going Urkel.
If
Urkel gets on the ground, though, he can't get back up. That's the rule, though, because he says, "I've fallen, I can't get up."
Does he say that?
He does.
Pretty sure he
says
that.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
But no, I'm
a little lectured up, but.
All right, that's fine. I'll Urkel all the way, man.
Yeah.
Scorpio, by the way, says, "Come on, Sabretooth is shit for brains. Joker would have a gas that would knock him out." All right, so he was Joker on that one.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, here's a good one. We're going into the world of 80s shows and movies and cartoons and wrestling. Sergeant Slaughter versus Mr. T. This is from Scorpio Moon.
Oh, yeah.
Sergeant Slaughter, who was a wrestler and then also on G.I. Joe, the cartoon, which I love the show. I don't know why Sergeant Slaughter was on that show, but Mr. T, of course, from the A-Team. That's where I love him from. But also, of course, the Rocky 3, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys... Sergeant Slaughter versus... I got to go Mr. T all the way. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Are they solo or do they have their team?
No,
because
solo.
that really
Solo.
okay, solo, because that would be a game changer otherwise.
Sergeant Slaughter does
Yeah.
not really look like he's in that great a shape, to be honest with you.
Don't say it to Sergeant Slaughter's face, though. Don't say it to his face.
Well, he's a drill sergeant, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But yeah, B.A. Baracus, it depends where they're fighting. If it's on a plane, he's in trouble because he doesn't like to fly, if I remember correctly.
That's B.A. Baracus, but we're talking about Mr. T, he said.
Oh, like from the animated series?
I don't know.
Or
I guess the real
life?
person, Mr. T, I guess, yes.
Or the character he played in Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs? Because that was great.
I think Mr. T, he's a good boxer, right? And he's really strong, and he is in good shape. I think he would just, do a boxing and knock him out.
Oh, that's true. If he's what's his name? Lips. What's
Lips?
Sorry, what's the Rocky character he played?
I thought
the
was a
Rock.
C.
Yeah.
I don't know. Lips. I don't.
No, it's something about
Anyway,
an owl.
I know, yes, but he knows how to box. Obviously, he was in that movie.
Somebody in the chat room will bring this up
Yes.
5 minutes from now, and then we'll all go, "Oh,
It's Clubber. His name is Clubber Lang.
Clubber
in
Lang,
Rocky.
thank you.
Clubber." Okay, thank you.
Clubber
Sorry.
Lips
I don't
Lang.
know. Clubber Lips Lang. Obviously, that's what I meant.
Because when he clubs you, you have a fat lip.
It's only.
I'm trying to make it work, man. I don't know, all right?
I appreciate your help. It was needed.
All right. I don't know. I'm going Mr. T. Anybody going Sergeant Slaughter?
No, because I pity the fool, really. I just pity the fool.
You're waiting to get that one in.
Mm.
Yeah, but Sergeant Slaughter did always have at the end of the episode, a food for thought, and knowing is half the battle. So,
Battle.
Well, that's all the G.I. Joe guys, not just Slaughter, though.
well, do you say
Slaughter-
somebody else was doing all the lifting for him?
I'm sorry. I could not. I love G.I. Joe. When they introduced Sergeant Slaughter, I just couldn't stand it. I thought it was so dumb. And I hated Serpentor, too, because I loved Cobra Commander. So.
Yeah, he did. He got nerfed by that whole situation. Like literally, he got turned into a small snake or something.
Oh,
In the movie,
Commander,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, my
stupid.
God.
Serpentor. What a loser.
Oh, man.
All right, let's see here. Good night, Chaz. Says yes, turn, and thank you so much for joining us. All right, let's do at least one more. Hey, here we go. Let's do some 90s sitcom ladies. Topanga from Boy Meets World versus Kelly Kapowski from Saved by the Bell. I'm going Kelly Kapowski all the way because I love Saved by the Bell. I was not really a huge fan of Boy Meets World. I know a lot of people are, and that's awesome. I'm not dissing it, but I just didn't really get into it.
I think Jeff and you and I must be similar in age then or something because Boy Meets World was
That's the thing. It was a little
big
bit
swing and a miss.
It was a little bit past like when I was the right age for it.
Yeah.
I'm going Kelly Kapowski though because Kelly Kapowski they didn't do a lot of this, but she was a volleyball player. They established that. So she is athletic. She was definitely a cheerleader, so she could spike the ball into Topanga's face and knock her out. Or she could do her cheers with her kicks and spins and like knock her around that way. She also has, I think, I don't know, like 8 or 9 brothers who could help her out.
Oh, wow.
She has a very large family that'll help her out if she gets in trouble. AC Slater for a while had a crush on her, wanted to date her, and he's very strong, Zach Morris would pull all these schemes if he had to help her out as well. I think her friends, let's say by the Bell, are much better than the Boy Meets World characters and this kind of stuff because they're more. I don't know. That's what I think. But
Kelly's got the squad. That's the headline here.
Squad.
Yeah.
Now, by all means, please, Boy Meets World fans, though, let me know why Topanga would win. What do you say, Francis?
I didn't like. I mean, Boy Meets World was I guess, around my time. I think I would have watched it. I suppose. Yeah, I didn't like it. I just didn't like the show. I watched it.
If it was good, I would have watched it, but I didn't.
The only reason why I saw a few episodes was because the teacher was the voice of Kit in Knight Rider.
Oh yeah, Mr. Feeney.
Yeah, Mr. Feeney was the voice of Kit. So I'm like,
He's great.
okay. Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's fantastic. But I couldn't get past the main character. Like, I couldn't get past
Corey?
that guy. Like, I hate. Yeah. The brother of the guy from
Fred Savage, Ben Savage.
There you go, Fred Savage. Yeah. I just couldn't stand him. I just hated him. But I know that I do remember a few episodes where Topanga was just the weird girl. She was the weird girl with the weird sister, and she was just into like crystals and like mysticism and all that stuff. So she was too. I think she was too out there, at least in the beginning, to take on Kelly, who is just multi-talented. Wasn't she in the band, the Zack band too? Didn't she play an instrument, the Zack band?
The Zack Attack.
Zack Attack, yeah.
Everybody. Well, I mean, it was a dream sequence, but they were actually practicing in the band, so they were. Yeah, she could play and sing.
Yeah. So there you go.
She was also in Lisa and Jesse formed a girl singing group at one point, like something Hot Sunday, but Sunday spelled like I think the Sunday you eat the ice cream.
Right.
Yeah, man, she is very multi-talented.
Yeah. Well, Topanga really didn't have much in the form of talent other than,
God.
she was just...
Oh, my God. I'm so sorry.
I have a feeling Necrodius might have something to say about that. Yes. Just saying.
All right.
I'm sorry, Necrodius.
Right.
I know Francis is shitting on your show. Sorry. So, but that's fine. First off, we always want to hear definitely why you loved it, because obviously we're all about everybody expressing their geeky love. So just because we didn't get into it or didn't love it, we want to hear why you did, for all means. And I would like to hear somebody argue for the other side, since we're, I guess, all on the Kelly side.
Right.
But it's hard to beat Kelly. Although Jessie was my overall choice, to be honest with all those girls. But,
right. Because she was excited.
She what?
She was so excited.
All right. Yes, she was so excited. All right.
I'm so scared.
Necrodius says, "Hey, now I love Boy Meets World, but was not a fan of Girl Meets World. At least not the episodes I saw. May give it another shot sometime." So Girl Meets World is the Disney one where they brought those characters back as they're adults and they're married and they have kids.
They have a daughter, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I don't like shitting on shows, folks, but that's honestly the worst TV show I've ever seen in my life. Girl Meets World. It was painful to watch that show.
Worse than Fuller House.
Oh no! Oh, all right. So that's fine. You dissed on my show. I like Fuller House, man. I'm digging that.
Oh, okay. Bring it on.
That's fine.
Well,
I'm enjoying Fuller House a lot. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did. I'm really digging it.
Awesome. Fuller House is lasted longer than Girl Meets World, didn't it? Because
Girl Meets World into their fifth season.
Yeah.
And by the way, and again, if you love Girl Meets World, that's awesome. Please let me know why. Oh man, that was a rough one for me. So Jalou says Topanga ended up being a lawyer, was abandoned by her hippie parents, very much the epitome of the growing up late 20th century female empowerment teen feminist. All right, thank you. That's a good perspective on that. Thank you very much. I like that.
That was after. I think that's after I gave up on the show.
You didn't make it to when she became a lawyer. Well, that must be on the current version, Girl Meets World.
Oh, that's true.
I don't think she became a lawyer, and I mean they went to college at one point, but they weren't she wasn't a lawyer.
Right. Yeah, I think
Doogie Howsering it,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there you go.
That's a '90s thing we didn't talk about. Doogie Howser, Neil Patrick
Harris. That's right.
So Scorpio says, I think old school weird Topanga might outsmart Kelly, but later, she became kind of basic. That's what I remember too. I remember Topanga kind of being just like a more normal, popular girl. But in the beginning, you're right. She was like the kind of like the strange girl quote, right? That's what people thought.
The quirky girl, the quirky one. Yeah.
And it's funny because I had never seen those earlier ones, so I was like, oh, that was what Topanga was like. Very interesting.
Mm.
Necrodius says, I'm pretty sure Kelly would be too distracted trying to shoo off Zack to focus on fighting Topanga. That's possible. Zack was very into Kelly and trying to get with her. Well, they do. Well, actually, they get married.
They get married. Yeah, I was going to say
they do a TV movie where they get married, yeah.
Yeah.
So Jalou, so Jessie, yes, that's Elizabeth Berkley. She not Striptease, that was Demi Moore. She was in Showgirls is what she went after Saved by the Bell. Is the movie you're referring to?
Another Paul Verhoeven movie for those playing at home.
Oh, you're right. But did he get naked in this one too?
No.
They should have said you have to be a showgirl and get naked, Paul, if you want.
Not in that one, but then he did in Hollow Man, which Elizabeth Shue is not really that keen on, as I hear.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe this was before we went on air, folks, but he was telling us in Starship Troopers shower scene that Paul Verhoeven, the director, agreed to be naked in the shower scene, right? Or Francis, one of you guys said it, right?
Yeah.
For all the actors to do that scene.
Mm-hmm.
So is he just like one of the people that pan cast or that tracks past the camera in the shower?
Yeah.
Sorry, you didn't like focus in on him.
No. He wasn't on camera. He was supposed to direct.
Oh, he was directing naked.
Yeah.
I thought he was actually like as an extra in the scene almost or something. Yeah.
No. In order to because they felt uncomfortable being a co-ed shower scene, right? They thought it was a little too much, and they're like,
"Well, as a teen watching that movie, the co-ed shower scene was like the most amazing thing ever."
Oh yeah, no, of course, but I'm just saying, like for the actors though, not so much.
Yeah.
Well, then they brought that back in Battlestar Galactica. That was kind of like similar vibe. They had like co-ed bathrooms and everything too.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It wasn't the same.
Poor Cable. Sorry. Wasn't
the lack of the pun, lack of titillation. That's all I'm saying.
I guess I was coming from a world building perspective. Sorry.
Exactly. Sorry. How dare you?
So hey, we got some support here for Topanga. Scorpio says jealous. Topanga could be a bit of a brawler though. I don't know now. She could be, for all we know. Listeners Mate said Topanga had Corey and Eric Matthews and Mr. Feeney. Oh yeah, and Minkus. Don't forget about Minkus. I liked Minkus actually. He was funny.
Yeah.
He was like the kind of the quote nerdy kid who was very smart and everything. Yeah.
The Urkel.
Sort of. He wasn't as like annoyed. I mean, I loved Urkel, but a lot of people were annoyed by Urkel on the show. I don't think Minkus annoyed people as much as Urkel did. Right? Yeah. Although it's kind of Urkel-esque. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. All right, that's good. I think that's good for our battles there. All right, well, sorry, I know we got a late start, but we're going to do it, folks. As I said, we're going to do a bonus segment. And again, we're going to start doing this for Patreon people as I get that started. But it's going to totally free right now. This is Ask SGU, so this is one of these Ask Us Anything type stuff. Which, okay, I realize there's going to be a delay, so we'll start talking about other stuff as I just put this out there. maybe we'll do another battle as I put this out there. So you can start putting any questions you want in the chat, and we're going to answer them for you to the best of our ability. Let's see here. Yeah, William Cox says Hollow Man is creepy for all the wrong reasons. I totally agree, dude. I did not like that movie at all. That's kind of a gross movie, what happens, to be honest with that movie.
Though, I mean, that was the point of it, though, was that he was gross.
I just don't like it. I just yuck. Makes you feel dirty.
Oh no, of course, but I'm just it was unfortunate that it was that was part of it. And then they do it again. Well, and I guess the new one, right? The actual Invisible Man one isn't gross. It's more. It actually is a kind of a thrillery type movie, like not horror per se, because I don't believe there's much horror in it. I haven't seen it, but from what I hear, it's actually pretty.
Let me ask you this, and maybe you guys know this. So the Invisible Man is obviously a very old character, actually, right, from books, I believe.
Yes.
H.G. Wells.
Yeah. Oh, H.G. Wells. Oh, awesome. Okay, good. Did the Invisible Man was it always part of the character that? Is the becoming invisible? Did that kind of always make him kind of mentally unstable? Is that part of the deal with that, or no, or is it just like the guy's a scumbag or something? What is it?
It's definitely part of. I mean, I don't know. I haven't read the original book, but the original Claude Rains movie. It's absolutely like it's the megalomania, but it's also there's insinuated that the chemicals themselves are somehow driving him to madness. But it's also the power. That's a big theme of it. It's being able to be in a room. Yeah. You can commit crimes without impunity. I mean, no. That first movie though, it's a real great laugh. If anybody actually wants to go back and watch it, it is hilarious, intentionally so. Highly recommend. Yeah, no, it's a really funny movie.
Yeah, and then this latest one, the guy who becomes the Invisible Man is already crazy. So he's off crazy, and then it just adds on with
that's not good.
Yeah. Well, it's like an abusive relationship sort of analogy. So it's kind of a cool. I mean, not cool, but it's a very relatable scenario that they enter a invisible person into. So.
Yeah.
By the way, Lister's Mate says, I like this one. Kelly might win against Topanga if Zach cheated and froze time by saying, "Time out."
Time out. No one else was able to move, right? It was just him.
But he could. So this is the greatest argument ever. He could move Kelly and Topanga however he needed. He could throw Topanga in a garbage can or something, like whatever.
That's true. I got it.
That's great.
I think that's game. I think Lister Mate ended it. I can't top that.
By the way, as we're waiting for questions here, Julu says the 90s movie Wild Things. I dug that movie, man. That's a sexy movie. It's like especially Nev Campbell, Denise Richards, right? And some dude. What was the dude?
It was it was he was in Footloose. It's
no, it's not Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon's in it.
All right. Look this up.
I'll look it up.
What is it?
Not the character I'm thinking about. The character who like sleeps with the.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah. No, because Kevin Bacon was the.
Right, but he's not the character I'm thinking. Sorry, I'm thinking about the character who.
Matt Dillon.
Matt
Dillon.
Oh,
I almost said Eric Bana, which is kind of like his weird actor twin.
Yeah.
By the way, Jalu just said, didn't Hollow Man star Kevin Bacon? It did, and then we just mentioned Kevin Bacon. Wow, Kevin Bacon really isn't everything.
Only at the beginning, really. The rest was
because he's invisible.
Right.
Oh, you're right. That's kind of an easier role. I mean, you do the voice still, of course, right? But sometimes,
it's like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. You know, he shows up for one day of face shots like this, and then the rest is CGI.
The life of a modern movie star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just let the CGI do the talking for you.
Yeah. Well, even like obviously with Vader, David Prowse had to do all the stuff there in Vader, and James Earl Jones did the voice later.
Have you heard the Prowse dialogue?
Yes.
It's amazing. It's like there's no intimidation in that voice at all.
If this is an ambassadorship, where is the ambassador?
It's amazing. It's amazing. Oh man!
Right. Well,
leave that to me.
Because I was actually talking about. I was on the Weekend Take. It's a podcast with my friend Sean Schaefer. He invited me on to do part of his special Star Wars ones. So we were talking about Prowse, and he actually, I think said Prowse. I don't know, kind of got a bit of a bad deal on some certain things. So I don't want to. 100%. So I definitely don't want to criticize Prowse at any means. I actually think Prowse did an amazing job.
Yeah.
And as we were talking about on that podcast, I mean, James Earl Jones' voice is of course incredible. I love him, but there's also the physicality of Vader, which makes that character, which is very important. I think that Prowse lends to that.
Yeah. There's when he points, you feel it, or when he's
yeah, dude, like that's he gets things wrong just by watching the physical stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and I think one of the to that point, one of the most important moments in Star Wars for me is completely a physical acting moment. It's in Return of the Jedi when Vader makes the choice to kill the Emperor, and that is all him. Totally ruined, by the way, in the Redux versions where they had the no.
Yes, I prefer the other ones.
Yeah, you totally there. I think it's more of the. It's kind of the psychic, this high-pitched Welsh voice coming out of this very tall, imposing man, like Darth Vader, like literally an image imprinted on our minds with a certain voice. And when you hear that other slight accented voice, it is just such a cognitive dissonance. I think that's why it's funny. It's not necessarily a slight against him. It's more of a like, whoa, like I got you. It's like if Kermit the Frog suddenly was like, hey, hey, hey. No.
Yeah, Rainbow Connection would be a much different song with that voice.
Oh, don't tempt me, Francis. Don't tempt me.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh,
I sing
right.
that song to my kids like almost every night, by the way. So that's
Oh,
that's a standard
so
in this
nice.
household.
Oh, that's sweet.
Aw.
That's nice.
And by the way, James, I made that exact same point on that show we did about Star Wars about that moment where Vader makes the decision Jedi. That's one of my favorite moments ever. So
Oh,
great.
it's the whole trilogy for me.
Yeah.
I have to be honest. Like I remember very, very vividly watching that for the first time. It was like on ABC in the middle of the night, and I don't know. I mean, I think it has a lot of reasons for why I'm here. You know, doing what I do is like moments like that are just they're just sorry, they're just they're totally sealed in steel and perfect, and then things change in previous cut or more recent cuts, and you just
That's all right.
I never felt
Still got
I
the
never
original.
felt that feeling until that particular edit came. You know, that's an interesting thing. But
All right, we got some Ask SGU
Ah.
questions here. Let's start tackling them. Scorpion Moon has the first one. What shows, movies, books, games, etc. do you watch over and over again? Beverly Hills Cop is one of mine. Whenever that comes on, which is a lot, I gotta watch it. I love that movie.
Jurassic Park, baby, it
Let's
is the movie. There is no other movie that I watch as much as that film, and I can put it on anytime, any place in it. It's just like one of those movies. You turn it, if it were back in the day when TV was appointment viewing, if it just happened to be on, no matter where it was in the film, you would stop and watch it till the end because it's that kind of movie. Perfect. Spare no expense.
Spare no expense.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Oh,
Francis?
sure. Before they took it away from either Hulu or Netflix, I was watching Doctor Who, the first 5 seasons, over and over and over again. Like, I love...
Like the very first 5?
No.
Or the new
The original.
season 9
Yeah, the new...
Doctor 9 onwards?
Christopher Eccleston to
Present.
up to Matt Smith.
Okay.
So, yeah. And I watched those, I think, more or less every day for a few years, over and over and over again. At least, yeah, I just needed that sci-fi-ness in my life, and I loved it. As for movies, people know, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it enough times. I mean, I saw, again, Scott Pilgrim in theaters 30 times in movie theaters.
Shit.
Yeah, I bought tickets to a theater to see it 30 times. And so that's the movie I think that I could watch over and over again, and that I do watch over and over again because it's just, to me, it calls out to me. That's a movie that actually calls out to me. So that's my film.
I'll also say Star Trek: Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. I watch
Yes.
constantly those.
yes.
For books, I'll say Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire Star Wars books, which I still think is the absolute best Star Wars books ever created, and also the best continuation of the original trilogy that, as far as I'm concerned, is still canon in my mind, in my own world.
That's all that matters, Jeff.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. I believe that. Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you for that great question. Let's see here. Let's go to Jalou. A 90s zeros or aughts question, I guess we could say. He has different questions, but let's start with this one. Who is your favorite boy band? Oh,
Crickets.
Let's
Sorry.
go back to the 80s. New Kids on the Block.
I mean, if I had to pick a boy band, it'd have to be Boys to Men. That was the one that got me.
That's a great choice.
Yeah.
It's like probably one of my sister who's closer in age to me, but her favorite like boy band or band ever probably, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, musically, absolutely. I don't think you can top that. I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion about any of these people. But Boyz II Men was great. Absolutely.
And the reason why, and they were the only ones I cared. Like, I didn't care about the other ones, you know.
Yeah.
Actually, Boys in Sync, whatever. I don't, that's fine. But Boyz II Men, for some reason, really defined my high school years.
Yes.
So.
Well, they had great songs. They were great singers too, right? And
Yeah, definitely.
I actually got to see them a few years ago at Disney World. They were performing.
What?
Like,
Well, so 3 of the 4 of them were. They do like at Epcot. They do like
the World. Yes, the World Showcase. Okay, yeah.
Like they come every year or multiple times a year for like a week or 2 or whatever to perform.
Yeah, during the Food and Wine Festival.
Yes, you got it. The Food and Wine Festival.
I think I didn't see them, but I think who was it? There was some band like that. It wasn't as good. It wasn't as good, but it was like, oh yeah, I remember them, kind of showing up there. It's sort of like the fair circuit. Like we have the Orange County Fair here, and you'll get Berlin or some band that everybody remembers. Sorta.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Let's take a question from listeners, mate. What are your viewpoints of a higher power given from a paranormal spiritual aspect, given that the higher powers can be like the Force on Star Wars, a good side versus an evil side?
Okay, I need to digest that for a second.
Yeah, I know we're getting deep now.
Like a karma, I guess, is a higher power. It doesn't have to necessarily be religious, is what it seems like he's saying. Like, is there the Force? Is there, I don't know, like for Robert Jordan fans, the Source, for magic and that. So I've said this. I actually did a whole podcast about karma, that I don't necessarily believe in karma, but yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know anymore now though, because apparently every 20s is apparently like a certain way. So it's funny that history repeats itself. So I don't know. Who knows anymore? Like maybe we're all just running on a treadmill. So I don't know anymore. It's really weird. I've been like recently. Just you think about it now, it's just like okay, gotcha. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know.
I think just let's use the analogy of the Force here, because I think that's pretty universal. Everybody understands what we're talking about. And it doesn't have to necessarily separate people in the way that religion can do in a discussion that's open like this. But I think there is a unifying good, and I think that there is a seduction to chaos, and I think that we somehow try to find balance between those two things. So I feel like I'm bringing down the mood here, but no, I feel like it's I think. No matter what your belief system is, although there are definitely more anarchic faiths and anarchic belief systems, but I think there is a desire for us to unify, and I think through that union there is good. There is a commonality. There is for lack of a better word, the golden rule. Do unto others as you'd like be done to you, is such a perfect circle of respect and finding unity that can ultimately be built upon and be a good thing and be structurally uplifting, as opposed to chaos, which is seductive and fun and awesome and makes us feel good sometimes and makes us feel free and makes us feel invincible, but also can be destructive and alienating and separating and ultimately lead to ego, which I think is the most destructive force in humanity, is ego. As much as it drives me to make what I want to make. It drives me to stand up for any position I have. But egos cannot work together necessarily as a system, and they tend to be more destructive than unifying. Anyway, there you go.
No,
there's my. I felt like I felt the music at the Oscars rising up, and it's like, thanks, my mom. Bye. Anyway.
No, that was really well said, man. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Let's do a question from Scorpio. Who is the biggest unsung / underrated hero in entertainment?
Like a character or an actor?
So I'm not 100% sure, but I think we can go either one. Then we'll just kind of interpret as we see fit.
Steve Buscemi.
Oh, really?
Steve Buscemi, because he does roles that are just. I don't know if anyone else was in it. I don't know how well it would. I mean, he fits a lot of the roles that he does. Like in what do you call it? Con Air, right? He's like that one kind of the most dangerous criminal on the plane, right? They have to lock him up, and he ends up being kind of he has that little interaction with the little girl when they're refueling or whatever, and it's just any other actor you'd kind of glaze over it. but because it was Steve Buscemi, he has a presence, and look, he has a look as well. Come on, he has a look and he has a presence that I think elevates a lot of the roles that he's a part of. Big Lebowski, right? You remember him in that movie.
Shut up, Donnie.
He's a character you remember, right? Exactly. You just remember him. So I think
am the walrus.
So I think Steve Buscemi definitely does not get, I think, enough good. I need more roles. He needs more roles in movies. But yeah, I think he's definitely someone who people overlook quite often, I think.
And his directorial work is worth checking out. Lonesome Jim is really a fascinating film with some real heart to it, and I think should be seen more. But anyway,
all right, nice.
If I can just raise my hand one moment and share about the good word about Mr. Steve Buscemi. I would say there is an actor, if we're going to talk about actors, who is incredibly underused for his talents, and this would be one James Marsden. I find that guy to be infinitely charismatic, instantly sympathetic in any role he plays. And yet the guy gets stuck with movies like the one about the Easter Bunny.
Hop?
And
I like Hop.
And okay, well, we can agree to disagree there.
That's fine.
I just feel like the guy has been pigeonholed in certain roles. And I think, and interestingly enough, in the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, they're almost playing that up to kind of a comic level, because it's like, oh yeah, he's such an everyman, he's such a vanilla character that it's like, oh, now he is playing off of the vanilla-ness in the same way he also did in season 1 of Westworld, where it's like, oh yeah, he is the perfect cowboy, but he's so perfect that he's almost impotent in his heroicism, right? Because he's just too good, he's too white hat. So I don't know. I would love to see James Marsden get, recast in something like in the way that Quentin Tarantino likes to take an actor's just persona on screen and twist it. I'd love to see somebody do a great job with James Marsden's talents, because he's great. He's a great actor, and he has a immediate, I think, impact on screen.
Oh. Yeah. I like him as Cyclops. In the action movie.
Yeah, that's where I first knew him from, man. I like Marsden a lot.
I think he's great as like.
He's awesome.
Oh,
yeah. The first character that comes to mind is Wedge Antilles from Star Wars.
Yeah, good old Wedge.
Again, I always say, only guy who made both runs on both Death Stars.
It's true,
right? See, look, if you're a fan, obviously, I think you know all about Wedge Antilles probably, but there's a whole series of actually Rogue Squadron books that are really good that he's the star of for at least the first bunch of them, and by Michael Stackpole, but yeah, I don't know. He's, again, probably not a lot of people don't necessarily think about him in the movies. You're thinking about Han or or Lando or other people, but Wedge is great, man. Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah, which is funny because the one person who is actually lauded a lot is Admiral Akbar, and he only says like,
yeah,
and everyone loves him.
See, I love Akbar, but honestly, if you look at that movie, I don't know if Akbar is really that great of an admiral.
No,
he just brings him.
He's sort of a fly by the seat of his pants sort of character. Let's the heroes really just come in whenever they want to and save the day. That seems like a very risky proposition. Might not always work out. Right, 100%.
He just lets. Lando is a general at that point, right? But he just kind of says like, Lando's like, no, we gotta do this and this, and Admiral's like, all right, I guess so. I guess we'll just do what you want.
What a pushover! Yeah. Oh, man.
I still love him though. I still love Akbar.
Yeah, no, he's awesome.
But Wedge is good shit. Wedge knows what he's doing.
Doesn't Wedge show up in Rise of Skywalker? Am I wrong, or am I mixing him up? Okay, so he does 3 runs. Not a Death Star per se.
Don't tell me anymore because I haven't seen it.
Exodus. Oh, sorry.
Don't
mean to open up wounds.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm excited that he's in a movie. I did not realize that. That makes me want to watch it now. Actually, that Wedge is in it.
Yeah. He's in there.
Oh, so look, he's even better than I thought he was. Fantastic.
That's right.
Great. I know there's actors, and they're just not coming to mind, but I know there's definitely actors like I'll see and I'll be like, they're so good. Why aren't they in more stuff? You know?
Yeah.
And they're just not coming to mind.
There's a Yeah.
I mean, one who I'll mention is, I mean, she's been working consistently the last few years in Supergirl, but I didn't know her outside of that. But Kyler Lee, who plays Alex in Supergirl, I think is amazing. I think she's fantastic.
Yeah.
I like to see her do more.
I think a lot of the people who do the CW DC shows are underrated heroes in entertainment, because even though we like to think that a lot of people watch those shows, it's really just a lot of geeks watch that show, but the general public don't necessarily watch those shows. And I think, they're missing out on some good entertainment. They're missing out on Brandon Routh. Well, being
yeah, but no,
being
you're right.
Superman.
There's great actors. Like Grant Gustin, I think, is awesome, man. Like, there's a lot of great actors on those shows.
Speaking of Kevin Conroy doing a turn as actual on-screen Batman, that's pretty awesome.
Yes,
that was amazing.
That hooked me. I was in for that. Yeah.
And folks, if you haven't, we actually did 2 full episodes of all about Crisis on Infinite Earths on our DC Action Hour show. You can find that on our YouTube channel if you'd like to.
Yeah.
Because we definitely talked a lot about Kevin Conroy for sure. Yeah. All right. Awesome. All right. I think, we better wrap it up there, folks. Thank you for all your questions. Thank you very much for sticking with all our technical issues here today. We really appreciate it. Let's do some links before we get out of here again, though. So, James, where can they find you online?
Well, I am at Darwin Fish on Twitter. I am James B. Cox on Instagram, just all one word. And if you would like to see my feature debut, which is Hacked, there's actually a nifty little link that you can do. If you are a Amazon Prime subscriber, you don't have to pay anything extra. You can see this movie right now, tonight. You don't have any kids. You gotta go. You can stay up till 2:00 in the morning, or not 2:00. It would be like, depends on what time zone you're in. But anyway, it's like a 86-minute film. Watch it right now. The link right now is tiny.cc/hackedprime.
I love
you can see that movie right now, literally right now. What do you got better to do? Go. No, don't go yet. Got to listen to the other promotions here. Got to pay the bills. But after that, go see my movie. That's what I'm saying.
Hell yeah!
I love that. I love that you're using the tiny CC. I think more people should do that because it's great. It's so customizable. It's easy to remember, and it's a great promo tool.
Well, and Amazon's video on demand is a little unwieldy sometimes to find things unless it's being promoted. So
you're being
do
generous.
it.
Yeah, you're being very very generous.
Well, they are streaming my movie right now, Francis.
Yeah.
So
That's
a little bit of incentive.
Yeah. Those links are in the description section underneath the YouTube video, folks. If you're watching now or you're watching in post. After you're done watching his movie, by the way, folks, you can also watch my Super Knocked Up show on Amazon if you'd like. But go check out James things first. I
have nothing.
What?
I have nothing on Amazon.
Oh, that's okay. You will soon, I'm sure.
No. I don't.
Francis, though, where can they find the stuff you do have online?
I like to keep the synergy going with my synergistic theme going here with my at AKA the other guy for my social media. So that's Twitter and Instagram. I am the other guy. And Sincere Sarcasm, a website that has surprisingly existed for like a decade now.
Oh, shit.
SincereSarcasm.net has been around for like a decade. It really blows my mind. I made it back in 2010, and it still exists. So go check it out. It's a fine URL. I think you can still find my 2010 stuff in there too, like my old blog posts and stuff. So check it out and go there. All my latest stuff is posted there.
Awesome, folks. We're at supergeekedup.com, supergeekedup on Twitter and YouTube. If you haven't already, please subscribe, follow. That definitely helps us out. Again, as I mentioned earlier, we have Patreon page, patreon.com/supergeekedup. And again, I just put up all new different membership levels, which starting as low as $2 per month. You get access to our Discord channel.